Let's get this show on the road. Ah, ah, la 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 la. Everybody loves controversy. Controversy gets them clicks. My coffee is super empty. Controversy gets them clicks. You're such a dark soul. So buzzy. Hey everyone, this is Coffee with Soul, where we talk and chat. Mostly me talk, sometimes you chat. This thing goes on every 8:30ish or so. I did a little something funny where I uploaded yesterday's coffee just before shooting today's coffee, and we're gonna see how much damage I do to myself because people are watching yesterday's episode and not tuning into this one, which is kind of odd because that's a VOD and this is not. Anyway, there are a lot of things that we'll be covering today, mostly with WoW stuff, mostly with the patch, mostly with the more controversial parts of what's going into this. I mean, it is controversial. It isn't as controversial, but let's first say hello to Jalzon. Hey, what's up? You're the first person to say hi, even though you're not going to be here for very long. What's up to Fallen? What's up to Ray? What's up to Degreasomer? And of course, what is up to all the other beautiful digital smiling faces who may be joining us and dropping by today. So yesterday, in a bit of a surprise, there was a Tuesday PTR build for 9.1.5, and going through it really quick, like the thing that I was most excited about, and I totally didn't really notice much of anything, was that they were adding several boots to the Trial of Style. There is a multitude of shoe art that's going to be coming. This was data mined like a little ways back. We had no idea where it was coming from, and now we're getting some idea. 6 pairs of these shoes are going to be coming in the Trial of Style, so we gotta wait for the Trial of Style to come. My hopes are that some others of these, these other variants, because there are quite a few variants of these. I'm hoping that more of these will be coming in other forms of content. They'll just like woo, they'll just scatter them all over the place, or put them into crafting recipes and scatter those all over the place. But I'm really glad for those. A big highlight of those is that these boots can work with anybody, including Tauren and trolls and other such races that otherwise break that mold. I believe undead, most undead, like it messes with them too. So to me, that was like, oh well, that's it. That's 915 wins, or or at least this build. That's all I need to see. That's it. It's all good. Coffee's very hot. Ow, ow, ow. It's a very good coffee, but someone says these boots cover better cover the whole foot, or they may be too scandalous. Man, oh, the things I gotta say about that one. Another thing, but not because of that, I totally missed out on one other important patch note that said something along the lines of, we're adding more. We're adjusting the dungeons available in time walking, and it just kind of woo, it just kind of like went one ear and out the other, sailed over my head. Whatever turn of phrase fits for you best. But they added more time walking dungeons. So here's what they're adding: Burning Crusade, they're adding the Underbog, Botanica, and Blood Furnace. For Wrath of the Lich King, they're adding Utgard Keep, Azrael Narub, and the Forge of Souls. In Cataclysm, they're adding Blackrock Caverns. In Warlords, they're adding Grimrail Depot. And in Mists of Pandaria, they're adding Skullomance. Cool. I like that. We've been having interesting conversations about time walking over the past couple like days or week or so, about how time walking should be on a more frequent schedule, or that they should just have time walking like all the time. It should stay on. And there's a lot of back and forth. And I typically take the side of, trying to, find some sort of compromise or something like that. Because I am I am supportive of having time walking every week, but I'm less enthused about the notion of time walking just being on all the time, because then time walking is no longer an event. Time walking is just a thing that you jump into. And what I'd like to see more of, if they wanted to make something, if they wanted to make a feature just a thing and not just an event, I would want there to be a way for max level characters. I've talked about this before, but I would love to have a way to take our max level characters and be able to jump into a queue, like a different sort of queue, where we can jump into the entire battery of dungeon queues, or even like LFR queues. That would be kind of an interesting thing. Well, I'll get into how that would work in a bit, but I'd love to see something like that. Just good old scaling. Scale us down, scale down our item level. You don't need to level us. I guess party sync would work the same way. And if I recall correctly, I think party sync, doesn't it mess with your abilities too? Or does it just change your item level and that sort of thing? I thought it just changed your item level. You guys have to help me out on that, because I've only used it a couple times with my wife, and like that was it. What's up, Lo-Fi? What's up, Peter? What's up, Menard? I gotta say hi to the regulars, right? But what I would love to see is something like that, like an always on thing where we can scale down. And, if we end up queuing up for this sort of queue thing, and we end up going into Wailing Caverns, or we go into Stormstrout Brewery, but it's not a time walking version, it's just like what other people are leveling through. They're just leveling through that stuff. But what's really important for a queue like that, it's not like time walking, because time walking is like, okay, our levels get all weird and wonked out, but we can take home like gear that works at max level. Cool. If there was going to be a queue that that scales us down, and again, this is like, there are two different approaches here, and I'm suggesting that we do both. If we do a thing where we're at max level and it scales us down to whatever, what rewards should we get? And I've been and recently I've talked about the idea of bringing back some form of valor and justice points, and you just get that. You just get that sort of currency. People are very kind and pointed out, well, Final Fantasy XIV does this because it's such a great. I get it. There's a they do something like that, where you get like little bits of this currency that you can apply to get starting, pretty decent starting gear for endgame. And I would suggest kind of the same thing, where we can get, basically Valor of Now, but it just does a little bit more. I don't have to, but it's appreciated. Too bad, Peter. Suck it. But yeah, I would like to see something like that. But I also like the idea of time walking too, because it's a way to, it's an excuse to get some of those old items and maybe bring it back to the present. Now, this of course does not apply to like top end rating. It doesn't apply to high level keys, mythic stuff, or anything like that. But for most players who just want to enjoy like fun items to mess around with, like notably trinkets, and even the Wowhead article that talked about the new time walking dungeons, they pointed out like a number of items, like including one, the needle encrusted scorpion is what they show here. That gives some crit strike, but it has a haste proc on it. And there are other trinkets that are out there that can do the same thing that you can get in current content, but having, an additional option, something that's a little bit more obscure, that adds a little bit to that roleplay effect. Now, some would say, well, I just look it up on the database and the Wowhead thing and my Sims and all that stuff. And if that's the way you want to approach it, okay, there's no problem with that. But not everybody uses the Wowhead. They'll they'll just take a look at the dungeon journal and be like, hey, what's possible? Oh, that's cool. That's neat. And it's time walking as an end game option. For some people, it's a stepping stool. That's fine. For some people, it's the end game option. That's part of their sort of best in slot, because those are the options available to them, and that's fine. But this particular build, going back to the full part of the build, not a lot of huge changes that I was seeing. I was doing some tests just to make sure like how certain things work. Like right now, the covenant swapping seems pretty seamless, but there's still a separation between anima and redeemed souls. Now, redeemed souls you can just kind of farm perpetually at this point. Well, okay, not perpetually, but you can just repeat the quest over and over and over again. Yay, whoop-de-doo. And then as for anima, you're able to buy this account-wide thing that will basically turn your existing anima. It's a 1-to-1 ratio so far, but it takes your existing anima and then it turns it into an anima token, which is interesting. Because what you can kind of do, at least at the moment, I don't know if this is going to be a thing afterward, when this goes live, you can turn these things into tokens and the game will count it as you earning anima. So like if you pick up that, hey, I need to pick up that 1,000 anima for the quest, and then you go to this NPC and you do the whole anima conversion, you're technically getting anima tokens and it counts towards that quest. It'd be easy enough for them to say, okay, let's just make this particular item not count towards it, but whatever. I'm totally going off tangent right here, but there are things that I was checking out just to make sure. Okay, how is this going to work? Because I plan on making a guide, a very chill guide about how to prepare for 915, because this is a bit of an interesting patch. There's lots of quality of life changes, and there are ways that you can sort of prepare your character in such a way that when that patch drops, you'll be able to enjoy most of the quality of life features like almost right away, and I think that's pretty cool. But I guess we should talk about the censor changes. I mean, that's the title of the stream. That's what you're here for, right? No, not really. I hope not. Were there other things that I'm just kind of glancing through these patch notes really quick to see if there was anything, if there's anything important? No, doesn't look like it. None of all this stuff is like, we've been there. So, oh boy. So in this build, there were more changes that came to, I don't know, like sanitizing or whatever. I don't think that's the appropriate word. I'll just get specific. So there were more changes in this week's PTR. I think I did kind of figure out a term. There are a couple changes that sort of like that threatens to desexualize the game. For example, the big love rocket mount, the icon. Well, I think the icon was changed in a previous build from something that just didn't look like its in-game model to something that looks more like its in-game model. I don't think there's much complaint over that because it just wasn't the right thing. And I think people were, they felt upset about it. It's like, oh, are they trying to de-sex it? And that seems like that seemed like a softball. It's like, no, it looks like the damn mount. Come on. I really liked it when it looked like, the Elon Musk ship, like a penis and all that. And then last week there was like the whole thing about the lady with the cleavage that that was that was made to be a bit more. It looks more like Office Lady, which to be honest I kind of have a fetish over, but totally beside the point. And then the nude lady laying on her side turning into a bowl of fruit. Yeah, fruit. Part of a balanced diet. All right. But this week, there was more done. So these were some contextual changes, like the big love rocket was renamed to the I forgot. Heartbreaker. It was renamed to the Heartbreaker X something mount. There was another reference to a raid boss. The twin. For those who are familiar in Throne of Thunder, there's a boss called the Twin Consorts, and it's been changed to the Twin Empyreans. I forgot what Empyrean means, but it does not mean the same thing as consorts. So we're going to talk about that and what it means for the greater World of Warcraft. How could we react to this? We'll take in some of those reactions. We'll take in some comments from folks over here on chat. Of course, you folks at home watching the VOD are more than free to say your piece. We're all full of takes. Some of them are spicier than others, and we're just here to listen and share these ideas. But boy, man, the initial reaction I had to this was, it was more like, oh, here we go again, back to this shit. Changing the big love rocket to the heartbreaker. Here's my personal take. To me, it's kind of like, it's the game trying to express some maturity beyond the very obvious and juvenile and like the kind of whole Jay and Silent Bob sort of humor, which I love, by the way. I especially in my guild. Oh my god, like, you say anything remotely sexual in guild, we will find a way to turn that into like, you said something, or we'd be like, oh damn, holla. Like, it's so common that it's one of the reasons why I don't even stream my raids anymore, because it's we're all old people, and we're just the worst. We're the straight worst. So some would say that it's them trying to like grow up. I joked and said, someone was saying like, oh, why are they doing this? And I joked in a tweet, I'm like, okay, here's like a flashback. Imagine Alex Cosby being like, yeah, name it the big love rocket, cause and then that's it, the flashback's over. So the reason for that change and the consorts change, it could be as easy as there's a story behind it that we don't know about as to why the design of that mount or the description of that raid boss was what it was, and we don't know about it. And frankly, it doesn't matter if there is a story about it, and now they're resolving it by scrubbing that away. Okay, that's fine. And we also got to realize that when, a couple months or so back, when Blizzard first, when the WoW team, not Blizzard, but when the WoW team first came out and finally made their statement on their thoughts over the lawsuits and everything, one of their statements was, hey, we're going to make some changes. We're going to make some immediate changes, and you can expect these over the coming days. And that's when we saw NPC names get changed, tooltips, things like that. And it was kind of a big job. What we're seeing now is basically what we saw back then. It's just the unfortunate thing of, what can they do in a hotfix versus what can they do in a patch. Now, like imagine how we would feel if all those changes were to happen only in the patch, but the things that could have been hotfixed weren't hotfixed. We would have been bitching. Some people would have been bitching every day. Oh, that NPC is still there. This reference is still there. No, Blizzard, why don't you do anything? Why don't you care about your game? It's a given. That's not even up for debate. People would do something like that. And there probably are people that are like, hey, how come some of these tooltip changes and stuff like that, how come those aren't, how come those can't be changed and whatnot? So in support of that, we just got to realize that some things can be hotfixed, some things cannot. But going back to the original piece, we're just seeing all this play out. The original statement, we're going to make some changes. It's just taken a while. Now, if we were to see further changes like patches later, then I would find that really weird. Then I would definitely see that as this weird sort of systematic dismantling of things that make people uncomfortable. Now, with regards to the twin consorts, that one's weird, because and I can kind of see why the change was made here. So you'd have to go into the current game right now and look at the dungeon journal and the description of the fight. It refers to the twin consorts as trophies of Lei Shen, the Thunder King, that they are his prized possessions and all that, and that they also happen to be the only female Mogu in existence, which makes them that much more valuable. So if I were like really hard line of like, hard line over wanting to, if I'm pro censor, pro desexualization or whatnot, at some degree, I would be able to make an argument to be like, no, we should not have a game that depicts the ownership of anybody, especially, and notably here, the ownership of women, yada, yada, yada. But I also think to myself, and guys, I'm going to be like all over the place with my takes here. So no one's going to like me at the end of this. Downvote now and, and save it for later. But anyway, I also think to myself, well, isn't Lei Shen a bad guy? Wasn't he like a dick in like the Chronicles and wherever? Like he was a jackass. He enslaved, they were constructs, but they enslaved people. They killed people. They conquered Pandaria. They took a Titan Keeper and chained him up and all that stuff. He's a bad guy. And having two consorts of his, and especially having two consorts fight for him, that's just one more thing to add to the pile of why Lei Shen's a dick. And those are the things that motivate us to want to fight him off. But it's also like contradictory because we're fighting these consorts. We're not trying to save them. There's no narrative around that. We're obviously there to like kill them, and we do kill these prisoners of, we're killing victims. So, and I feel like I'm really reaching here, and to be honest, this whole topic, it feels like a reach no matter how you spin it, no matter what your position is. It feels like having this kind of a conversation is, it's tough. And that's why I said the other day, I'm like, is this news? Is this really news? But yes, it's news. One second. So I can kind of see why, making that change, there's a lot more context to that because it's explained to us, having the painting be changed from one thing to another. It's like, how do we interpret this? Because it's art. But now we're seeing descriptions of things being changed. Twin consorts to twin Empyreans. The new description, it's very much more like these two female Mogu are like the champions of the Mogu. So they were retconned in a sense. In this case, I don't think it's like a huge deal. It's not like they had like a huge part in the overall Warcraft story. But nonetheless, the controversy behind this isn't even so much about exactly what's being done right now. It's more like, what is Blizzard capable of, or what's the WoW team capable of doing in the future? What's next? And people have been, it feels like people have been totally given in to their fears and their concerns and turning that, and it's been snowballing into like this anti-Blizzard sentiment over, reacting to what Blizzard might do, as opposed to exactly like what's being done here. That's the common refrain when I made my statements and people were like, dude, so that is not the point. That is not what we're talking about. Who cares about this picture? What we're really concerned about is blah, 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 blah. My quick response to that is, yeah, but blah, blah, blah isn't happening. We're talking about this. We're talking about what's in front of us, guys. But what's in front of us is the possibility of, so we agree to disagree. In that point, but the tone of that is what I'm getting at. There are people that want to preserve parts of the game as they were, and I'm actually a big supporter of that because, well, we're just talking in the context of video games. I can accept that certain things, certain bits of entertainment, are a product of its time. Like you think back to old cartoons where you saw some obvious things that were like over-sexualized or that were almost racially charged. And it's not because there was any malice behind it, but only because it was a product of its time. and the content of its day was just, I don't think less mature is the word, but it was it was just kind of offensive and controversial, and it hurt people. But at the time, it just didn't matter. And now it does. But even though it does matter now, does that mean that we need to wipe that history away? I don't know. Again, my take, because it's just a video game and it's just this, is that no, it's not that big of a deal. There is no, it's not that huge of a thing. I should read some of chat because I'm missing what some of you guys are saying, and I should at least try to speak to that. And now I'm gonna get lost in chat. So, it feels like Jalzan says it feels like the censorship is going off the rails, and I said censorship for a good reason, but let me continue. Unless there's stories behind why they turned the lady into fruit. Who doesn't want to have their game to have dicks? Okay, awesome. I'm a little, Menarg is a little sad about that though. He'd rather ride a big love rocket than a heartbreaker. Okay. The only one that made sense was the icon for the love rocket because it actually looks like the mount. Yeah. For me, for lo-fi, it's like they cover up stuff where we are way too much adult for that. We don't even think about that, and they make it a problem. Well, I know when I first saw Love Rocket, I was like, yeah, get it. But no, I guess with regards to the Love Rocket, it's become more than a shitty sex joke, right? It's become more than this juvenile teenage sex joke. It's a mount, and people, it's not just owning the mount; it's the experience. Well, it's not really much of an experience. It's more like queue up and DPS and hope, and then your hopes are dashed, and then you do it again over and over. So maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not that. Like we got to preserve our experience, man. Matt Caliber says they're not bad changes, but that was something else. I don't know your game name's lol. Soulgasm is a great name. Sorry, when I heard that we were making changes, I think changes in the workplace is what most people were thinking. We'll talk about that. Let me remind myself real quick. That was not just me I was actually tapping. Okay. Is it nuts? It is nuts. It's taking our morals as what we should be and applying it to the story characters' morals. Just want to say that if you see the old pictures that you can see when they want it, changes even graphical ones. I just want to say that if you see the old pictures that you can see when they want it, changes even graphical ones can be made up pretty fast. I can't draw that fast. Shucks. Let's see. Don't go there. Yeah. Bad call on the Confederate statues thing. Hey, it was a random thought. Too random. It's sensitivity. It's a cancel culture thing. It's a disappointing experience for sure. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to... Okay, let us go to the library and start editing everything that is offensive. This whole thing is nuts. Why don't they focus on the people that... Okay, so good, cool. Thank you, my wildlife. You got to the point. You got to the point where I think, wow, you have that sort of take. So I see that one a lot too, where people are like, I can't believe Blizzard is doing this, as in changing things in game, when they should be not harassing people, when they should not be sexually discriminating people, when they should not be, when there shouldn't be allegations of sexual misconduct and yada yada yada. But I think that totally misses the point of what is changing here and what also needs to change. Now, let's be clear. We want Blizzard, the company, to do better. We want to see the demands of the workers over at Activision Blizzard and King to do better. We want the demands to be met. We want the we want the allegations to be answered for. We want the lawsuit to proceed and that sort of thing. But that takes a while, guys, and it's not the same thing. Like the people, the WoW team cannot say, yes, we are now paid more because we've decreed it. We've written patch notes and we've programmed that into the game. We are now equally paid. We are now, we designed our own sort of HR system and reporting system, and now everything's right. No, dudes. There's only so much that the WoW team can do. The WoW team has control over their game. They do not have control over HR. They do not have control over the enforcement of bettering their culture. They can do things internally to scrub people, and that's why we've seen people leave. We've seen people be ejected. But it's a long process, and it is incredibly unfair, and it's very distracting to kind of equate or to make it look like it's hypocrisy that, oh, Blizzard is doing, the WoW team is doing their stuff here in game, but there's still like all these problems. It's because they can't do anything about those problems. They need to, it's up to like the Activision Blizzard executive leadership to do that. And I think that mindset comes from the misunderstanding that Activision Blizzard leadership is the WoW developer. They're not the same thing, right? A lot of the times, we've created or we've let get out of control this narrative that Bobby Kotick decides the game design of WoW, or that the eggheads that they decide, oh yeah, we're going to time gate this and this and this, and that's not the case. The boring and cold reality is that these things that you don't like about WoW is designed by the WoW team itself, and so yeah, they make mistakes, absolutely. But in this case, when they're trying to resolve certain things, it goes back to what I talked about earlier, where it's like, do you hotfix what you can, or do you wait for the patch? And in this case, do we not do anything with the game until things change at the leadership level? I don't know. I don't know what the best route is, but it's clear that at the moment, Blizzard is just Blizzard, the WoW team over at Blizzard is just doing what they can. That's it. So I think people are applying really unfair pressure to the team that can't do anything about those sorts of things until executive leadership is ready to listen. Let's see, what is it? The WoW team doesn't do what they're told to do. Just because they're doing changes in game doesn't mean that it's their only focus. It doesn't mean that they're not changing things in the work environment. It just means that it takes longer. It obviously takes longer at the leadership level. And Blizzard is not the only example. Ubisoft and Riot come to mind, where they had lawsuits, ongoing things, still going on now. But a lot of people have kind of forgotten about that because, Activision Blizzard is in the spotlight. And I'm sure that some of those folks are like, whew, sweat off our back, keep harassing guys. No, I'm sure it's not like that. But it's more like, there's just less pressure on them, and all the pressure is on Activision Blizzard, as if they are like the source, the core of all harassment and bad things that happen in the world. We love just piling on that sort of responsibility because we feel so betrayed. And that sort of thing. I don't know. I see those things, even things like, oh, they're just doing damage control. Please, It's damn. There are obvious fixes that need to be made, but seeing it like it feels very disingenuous to try to take a look at these, not just these weird censor like changes, but like some of these other changes and trying to apply these quality of life changes as, oh, it's damage control or it's a distraction. That's the worst one. They're just trying to distract us from blah 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 blah. I'm not saying it's you, Lo-Fi, but just seeing those kinds of comments feels discouraging. But let's get back to what's going on with this whole censorship thing. I said the other day, and I'm gonna say it again, that I draw that what Blizzard decides to do with their NPCs and their descriptions of things and their icons or whatever, that's up to them. That's their prerogative, because that is the world that's being presented to us. If they don't want to have a Mogu society where they enslave women and use them to fight their battles and stuff, okay, sure, whatever. Go ahead and rewrite that. Retcon, and that would be my critique. If you if you feel less enthusiastic about farming for this super rare mount because the name changed from one thing to another, yes, I know there's a principle behind it, but it also sounds like a really weird take as well. But sorry, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. However, I draw the line at transmog, because transmog, like the slut mod, the so-called slut mogs or sexy mogs, or the low cut pants for the fellows and all that. That's different, because that isn't the existence of that armor is just the existence of the armor. The expression of it, though, is on the onus. It's the decision of each individual player, so here I am talking about my fears. Okay, here I am reacting to my own fears, pre-reacting to my own fears. Here we go. I draw the line at transmog because it's an expression of us. It's an expression of the players. If I want to go shirtless, I should be able to go shirtless. Or if I want to just wear nothing, if I was a female character and I wanted to wear nothing but like the bra or whatever, that's fine. It should be my right to do that. Otherwise, why did they add the ability to make almost everything invisible except for pants? Why did they do that instead then? That sort of flies against it. And remember what the workers on Activision Blizzard are trying to fight for. They're trying to fight for creating a safer place where people can express themselves however they like, where they don't need to feel like they're being discriminated. That's really, really important. My take is that I don't see that sort of censorship or whatever. I don't see that as, it doesn't seem offensive to me, because that has nothing to do with me. That's just the presentation of the game and how they want the world to look. But if they do something like, hey, we're going to cover up all the slut mogs and stuff like that, then I would take issue with that, because then you're attacking the player expression. You're suppressing our ability to... expression is like a favorite word. You're attacking our ability to express ourselves. You're desexing the players. And that is something I would have a really big problem with. They dolled up Sylvanas a little differently. They had her showing some midriff, and then now, and more recently, she does not. That's the expression of the game. If they were to take that nerfing of expression and apply it to the players, I'd have a problem with that. Now we're seeing different things these days. Excuse me. And you guys will have to correct me here, because I don't play as any female characters. That's just me. Whatever. I'm a blood elf male. Whatever. Are there current transmog, like as in the past 4 or 5 years? Is there transmog that changes, that has like a really big significant change if you're going from male to female armor? Because I'm not sure, and it's really hard to research something like that. Yeah, I don't know if those things have happened. You know, a lot of the sexier mogs, the slut mogs or whatever, you see that from like older pieces. As for newer ones, they just have like the male and you know, like there's no male and female variant. It's just like the same. It's just, you know, it just fits differently. It's not like, oh, okay, for the guys it's a full thing, and then for the ladies it's literally just 2 coconuts on top of their chest, whatever. I don't think we've seen that recently. So if anything, that would be the level of nerf or censorship that has happened. That's, oh no, the armor is just the same for everybody. And now we're seeing growing conversations about you know, about people's fears about nerfing their expression, nerfing transmog, that sort of thing, to where, and even I'm supportive of this. Why not make it so that males can wear the female versions of this transmog? Some people might be like, "Ew, you want to see a dude in like a bikini?" It's their fucking transmog. They can do whatever they want, and if you're offended by it, that's your freaking problem, right? I'd be cool with something like that. I think that'd be great, because why not? We're dressing up, we're dressing up cows and goblins and goat people and etceteras. Are we really going to draw the line of, oh well, it needs to be a gender specific cow armor and all that? Whatever, dude. I don't think, you know, I don't think that's a big deal. But again, like this is the very clear line that at least I'm drawing with regards to censorship and whatnot. And as for the word censorship, I know it's an easy word to use, but what's being censored again? At least with regards to, you know, this separation between PvE, you know, how the game presents itself, and us, the players. Like censorship of what's going on you know, on the game side. I you know, we'll have to agree to disagree here. I just don't see it the same way. It's like Blizzard changing their transmog. If the whole game was a transmog, they just want to present themselves in a different way. But what they're not doing, I don't feel like they're doing it. They're not trying to push that on us, not yet. But I'm just kind of preempting some feedback. Yeah, don't cross that line. Don't mess with the transmog. If I want to show my nipples and wear the low cut, wear them low cut pants and glasses, and that's it. Or if I just want to wear shorts and fuzzy slippers, and otherwise being naked in the in the frozen tundra, fine. That's my character. I want, you know, and I want to keep owning that. Excuse me. Heartbreaker is a great name because my heart freaking breaks every time I don't get this mount. That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. Oh man. I apologize. My face is like shiny because it's freaking warm, even at 9 something in the morning. My WoW life says that the problem is that everyone has a different line. I think the change to remove Garrosh calling Sylvanas a bitch was much worse. The painting and the Mogs was not a big change. That was a big one. That was a big one. I mean, it felt kind of it felt forced. I remember that. I actually saved that line. You can find it on WoW Tools, and you can still download that thing, so you can preserve that for posterity forever. But watch your mouth, clever bitch. That was so bad. But but I remember when I first heard that, and I didn't play through it. I didn't like when Cataclysm came out. I was like leveling. I'm not gonna level again. I already have a bunch of max level characters. You're crazy. But when I heard that line, I was like, damn, Garrosh went all out on that girl. You tell him, you tell her, woo. But yeah, having that, taking that away, yeah, felt weird. But you know, video game, I can get over it. Let's see. Peter's got coffee. Good. My Wildlife asks, why do you even have to pick a gender in the game? That's a good question. That is a good question. I guess, I guess to simplify things, when a young champion is born, they were born with some gender, right? But as for afterwards, it would be cool to see, like a more androgynous model, right? I wouldn't be opposed to that. More expression, sure, whatever. It's not going to affect your DPS or anything like that. Yeah, do it. Blizzard, just do it. Just hit that toggle. just move that slider. Male, female. Find a place find the place, or hell, give us a slider, because it's that easy. Seriously though, having different model shapes, such as ones that are more androgynous, I think that would be a really cool plus to add in. Does that mean they need to put a shirt on Illidan since he's a sexy beast? Of course not, because he puts on clothes and all of it burns off, because those fell tattoos, those stay on forever, right? Peter says the thing with Slutmog is weird, especially since they introduced the Kyrian armor recently, and those pants of the new set are skimpy. I noticed that too. I was like, dude, them pants are hella tight. Holy moly. Hey Justin, let's see. I don't think removing the bitch line from Garrosh is a bad thing. The characters in the story are enough to carry Garrosh's sentiments about the Banshee. You don't need the insult. I mean, I thought it came off like, wow, Garrosh went like 0 to 100, like just right there. The context behind it, if I'm recalling this correctly, Garrosh was talking to Sylvanas. They were in Silver Pine Forest. She was raising the dead, and Garrosh is like, "What the hell is this? How do I know that you're not going to like take these undead and use it to serve your own ends?" And then Sylvanas, she's like almost all sexy, like she's like, "What? But I serve the Horde." And Garrosh caught on that. He's like, watch your clever mouth, bitch. But he said it like an orc. So he's like, don't give me that sass, girl. I know what you're saying. Sheesh. But it was like really sudden. I was like, whoa, that escalated quickly. I thought it was gonna like cleave her in half right there. Would have saved us a lot of time. I'd be delighted if my male mage didn't look like he'd be lifting rocks as well. Yeah, that's a good point. In this whole role play of creating these characters and how they fall under certain archetypes, they're all most of them, they're like hella cut, right? They all have like this Adonis look. Even like the Kulturan men, they have like they look more like normal strong men than like humans and elves and other such things, because they eat to get all that energy. They have much stronger abs than than the six pack. That's just for show, But yeah, everyone's pretty healthy looking. Come on, man. Let's people were a big fan of the thin Kulturan humans when those first came out. Oh man, people were like all over that. OMG, I want to have that because I look just like that. And that's fine. I think it's cool to add more of that expression. Now, of course, that adds magnitudes more work for the WoW team, and I like to always say, adding more work or adding more work is not an excuse, but it would take a lot of time to implement stuff like that, because you add one more model, great. Now we gotta like do animations. We need to make sure that all of the armor and whatnot, all the previous armor will fit on these sorts of models. And what I was just asking for a few minutes ago was, hey, let's have androgynous models for every single race. That's a little, that's a big ask. That's almost like saying, hey, let's add, how many races are there? I forgot, but let's multiply it, or let's multiply it by 1.5, by 1.5, the number of models. That is, I think the math works out. That's a lot of work. So I can see why Blizzard would resist doing that, or at the very least, if you think about, there's finite time, there's finite development time. What would Blizzard want to dedicate its resources to? Androgynous models, or new creature models and things like that. There are tough choices to make, and unfortunately there are choices to make that we can't just throw money at. Google Blood Elf, non-binary, or Varden Dawn Grasp. Perfect example. That's a better term, non-binary. Thank you. Let's see. I'm waiting on the Warlock Succubus changes. Lol. Ooh, that's a good one, because that kind of falls between how the game, how the game presents itself, player expression, that sort of thing. What would be awesome, actually, is if they just added a glyph. So that way it was up to the player to decide, I want, oh my god, it'd be awesome. It'd be so cool if you can get a glyph that changes the succubus model to like to just put her in like a full-on like business suit. Some would say, oh, it's a sexy secretary or something like that. No, I want her to have the tie on too, because I think that looks cool. But that's me. That's you learning about my fetishes and preferences. That's very awkward, isn't it? But I said it, and I'm not going to edit it out, because I'm not going to remember what part of the video to edit. We need a whole home and plastic surgery extension. We already have the barbershop, dude. Maybe not unique models. Having more models would be great, but just a muscle definition slider might be enough, letting people have less buff males and more buff females to better fit the class that they're playing. That could work too. That's why I love these conversations, because we can think up solutions, because me thinking about it live is very tough. No, that would be neat, to just take the bulge out of those things. If Blizzard can find a way to alter the models without having to alter the skeleton at all, sweet, that'd be awesome. To just make them a little bit thinner, or even a little bit thicker, if that could be possible. It doesn't have to be a soft slider. It can be like, one of 3, 1 of 4 options, or something like that. Oh, you're trying to time step it for me? Nope, it's staying in there. I'm way too lazy. Who at Blizzard is the fecal philiac? Every expansion has poop quests. Are they? Yeah. We are going down the rabbit hole on this one, huh? It's like, oh, they obviously have a poop fetish. We need to get rid of that. I'd like to think that it's just a joke, and that it's a metaphor for, you might be the champion of Azeroth, but you're gonna pick up poop, right? Because you want the gear. You gotta have that. Sylvanas didn't sound sexy. She sounded sarcastic, and Garrosh was comparing her to. Yeah. I think that's what it was. I think she said it the way I remember her saying it. She said it with a certain softness that you don't hear from Sylvanas. You know, it sounded coy. Sexy is not the right word, but it sounded like very coy. It's like, okay, I see through your shit, but if they put in shit like the succubus change and androgynous characters, I'm gonna quit the game. Wow, that's a extreme take, dude. Let's see. Soul just wants to cater to his fetishes more. But that'd be cool. Having an incubus, right? Succubus, incubus, change it to a dude. That'd be pretty neat. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. A chubby to muscle to skinny slider would be kind of cool. No jokes are allowed. Sorry. Wait, where is the joke? There's a joke? Oh, whatever. So these are the things that I would like more of. And notice that when we're talking about the other side, when we're talking about the players, there's all sorts of things that we can do. We can decide on, hey, let's have buffer characters, or I'm sorry, let's do something about muscle definition. Let's have glyphs that changes like the succubus model into either something that's a little bit more dressed up, or even to change the gender of the model for warlocks. Those things are cool because that lets us change the player expression into something that we want, as opposed to the other side of things, like a painting or a mount or whatever, where we don't have that sort of creative control and we're sort of left to the mercy of Blizzard and whatever it is that they're dealing with internally that ends up being expressed outwardly to us. This is ongoing. It's probably not gonna stop. I won't be surprised if we see more builds that include more of these little scrubs here and there. I think where I'll start to be legitimately concerned is, aside from messing with transmog and stuff, if they keep going with it, if there's more stuff that they need to do in future patches, and if there are changes, then I would wonder, okay, did it just not make it into the previous patch? Did it, or is it too big for it to change? Is it too big of a change for it to make it into this 0.5 sort of patch? I don't know. Boop. So I'm gonna do that for a couple seconds. Thanks, guys. This is a tough conversation to have, though, because everyone's got really, really strong opinions one way or another. There's no clean way. There's no clean way to go about it. If they didn't change anything, would we be upset? I wonder. Yeah, would we be upset if we saw build, and we saw gameplay stuff, but otherwise things didn't stay the same? Because I don't know, like some of the sentiment, not everyone's, but some of the sentiment that I see is, we need to support the Blizzard workers or whatever. Blizzard, you guys need to change, but don't change your game, even if it might be a reflection of what was going on inside the studio. You can't change that. Grr. And that almost, and because we don't know the story or stories behind some of these things that were going on, God, how must it feel inside the studio to see someone be like, no, you can't change that and blah, blah, blah. And then there might be someone in there who was like, I was the one who wanted that change because this and this person wanted that because they thought it was funny. And I thought, hey, that doesn't sound right. And then they laughed me down. They talked me down. They made me feel like shit, blah, blah, blah. And now we're seeing the fans saying the same thing. No, that needs to stay and blah, blah, blah. They don't, and they'll never know. They'll never know why we wanted this change. That's total headcanon though. I made that up, right? So we don't know, and that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks because we won't know what the truth is behind those things, and I don't think we're obligated to see something like that. It's up to that person, if there was a person, to tell that story, and not Blizzard, unless they agreed to all that stuff. Do you know the items from the little tropical islands next to Theramore, which actually are Legion content now? They have multiple items for changing looks on pets. I have no idea. If they change nothing, would we have anything to be upset about? Nope, not at all. I wouldn't be upset. I would be more upset if they didn't change up the gameplay and the systems. Is that the thing with the world, though? 3 people hate something. That is the thing with the world, though. 3 people hate something that 3 million find funny. I'd like to think that the players just got over it. And 2004 me wouldn't have cared. But what if they brought, let's pretend, right? Let's pretend. What would happen if they introduced an item called the Big Love Rocket in 2021 in patch 9.1.5? After the lawsuits, after all these things, would that be in good taste? Now I know this is kind of a straw man because that's not the reality of it. We're talking. The conversation at hand is we're changing something that was there for like years and years and years. If it was introduced, ERPers would be happy. I would expect a pretty strong reaction from people if something called the Big Love Rocket was introduced now. An obvious sex joke and all that. I don't think that's enough to convince anyone of anything, but I think it's worth considering. That people would find that to be in bad taste. Only if it was a store mount. Mounts are always cool. Yeah. Again, the question was, would they, would that be in good taste for them to introduce something like that now of all times? I don't know. I think the most important takeaway though, is that I still don't have it, and I'm probably never going to get it. So there's gonna be like 50 people that feel offended by this. The number of people that actually have the mount. I mean, a lot of us, myself included, I'd probably just brush it off. I'm brushing most of this off, but brushing it off or saying that it's not a big deal or that we wouldn't care, that's kind of what got us here in the first place. I'm not blaming you, right? I'm not blaming you or you, but it's a culture thing. It's just, there's no blame necessarily. But that sort of sentiment, that sort of shared sentiment is what is built up a lot of these things. So yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna play today. I have not decided a damn thing. My controller's not even plugged in. There's some WoW stuff I can do. I haven't logged on Final Fantasy XIV in like 2 months. Wait, today? No. I thought it was tomorrow. Shut up. I could have swore it was tomorrow. Yeah. Do you play with my emotions, bruh? Diablo in 2 days. You're supposed to do guild keys. It is not 4 in the afternoon yet. I said I was going to try play some Overwatch. Oh right, wasn't there a thing on Overwatch? some producer, right? A producer left. Man, I feel bad for Overwatch, dude. I do and I don't, because I don't play it, so it's not a big deal. My fandom is limited. Yeah, like God, I feel like it's in a bad state. But I wondered to myself, is it really? Because I remember hearing like a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, that the multiplayer version of it's gonna be tournament ready soon. It's just that the PvE element is not is probably the thing that's not as ready yet. So it's gonna be weird. You're gonna see pros and whatnot being like, yeah, we can play Overwatch 2 now, giggity. But then, the PvE side, which is what I'm, what I'd be excited to try out and mess around with, because it seemed cool. It's a shooter, it's got PvE elements, but it's not like I don't believe it's supposed to be like a loot shooter, like Borderlands and other such things. So it was an executive producer that's leaving. Sorry. This whole banking issue has you stressed out? Banking issue? Jelson, are you helping her out, or what? I did start downloading Diablo 2 Resurrected yesterday though, and I will be playing it tomorrow. So that's gonna be tomorrow's game. Woohoo! You've been hacked. Oh no! Damn. Well, get a. Wait. You mean like hacked? Hacked? Oh, that sucks, dude. That's so shit. I'm sorry to hear that. I had my social security number stolen once, and that was not good, dude. Not good. Your credit card. Oh no. We're gonna do squats? Okay, we'll do squats. We'll do squats while I try to decide what game to play. Because I'm not. $400. I remember one time. Oh man. My card, I know that it got I forgot the term, skiffed or skimmed or something like that at a gas station. Those people show it every now and then where they have like fake skimmers or whatever, and they attach it to the credit card slider at the gas station, and then you take it off and then you see like, whoa, that's like super deceptive. Yeah, I think I got caught with that because I skimmed. Thank you. Yeah, because I remember I went to a gas station nearby, and it was weird, like because it was instant. I did my thing, got my gas, and within maybe like half an hour or so, all of a sudden my card was locked. So it might have been a coincidence. It might not have been there. It might have been somewhere else easily, but it happened to be like really fast because I figured that, wait a minute, doesn't this process take a little bit longer where first they steal the card and then they sell the number and the information and then someone uses it? But I just attribute the incident to that moment. So I never go to that gas station again. Oh, damn the east side. Swear, dude. East side of any town, it's just bad. Never live on the east side of town. All right, so what are we playing? What are we playing? Let's see. Actually, what did they buy? Humor me, Cries. Humor us, if you don't mind. What did they buy? Meanwhile, I'm trying to even just thinking about logging onto Final Fantasy. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Right, I'm just gathering. That's it. I can check my weekly box. Oh, I thought I did. I thought I did that on stream yesterday. But I did get an upgrade for the very first time. I kept it was a pair of boots. So I finally have my first pair, or my first 252 thing. They bought a heart-seeking love. But yeah, I got myself my first 252 and I kept it. I'm like, oh yeah, great, wonderful. I'm hoping that Thursday is lucrative, that we smash hella bosses. I think I need to get into like a normal, not a normal. See, it sucks, Grid. Like I do want to get a Sylvanas kill only because I want a chance at better shoulders, because I want better Dom socket shoulders. That's all I want. But I feel like I won't earn that kill, right? I think I talked about this the other day. Let me share. I feel like if I go to your run, Grid, that I'll get carried. Because you mentioned like, oh, there's a 3 tank strat and blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate the offer. I'm really torn about it though, because I feel like I won't earn it. I won't earn the kill. I'm there for like embers and maybe shoulders or something like that, but I don't feel like that. Yeah, it just doesn't feel. Oh, now if I'm helping you out, that's different. Because you've helped us out a lot, and sure, you know, if I'm available. Here's the thing though. Tonight there is there's a food truck event. There's a food truck event tonight. And Dee and I have been waiting for this. We've been waiting for like a couple of weeks because they come by and there's like a different set of food trucks that come in. Here, I'll show you the damn website of this place. They have this one thing with shrimp that's so fucking good. Oh my God. Oh, please tell me they have like pictures. Please have pictures. They don't have pictures. Oh no. Okay, pull up on Google. I will show you a picture of this because it's delicious. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. It's on Pinterest, which is lame, but whatever. Pinterest to the rescue. So that's it. They have this shrimp plate. That's so fucking good. It's the best. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that tonight. So I might show up if I'm on. If I'm not on, I passed out because I had hella shrimp. And it was so good. But also, if guildmates want to run mythics, I will be running mythics. If I'm in the middle of a mythic and you guys start raid, I will miss the raid because guild, that sort of thing. But if I'm on, you know, we'll see. We'll see, I guess. Right, I was supposed to decide on a game to play. Dang it. You know, I should that's one of many things that I should do for the no, I appreciate it, Grid. That's just me kind of like sharing the maelstrom in my head. Shrimp fries and what's that sauce? I don't know, dude. Here, let me pull up the actual restaurant name or their actual restaurant website, and maybe that'll help clue you in. But I don't know how to help you, Peter. They have it with either fries or like seasoned rice, something like that. So fucking good. I hope we pug spots and do mythic. Soul plays Naraka. What is Naraka? Oh, but yeah, help me with ideas because you know, I'd love for a way to like have like suggestions for like games to play. Because yeah, I'm definitely up for like playing other games, but one, you know, it's like I gotta buy them because it's not like I get sponsored or whatnot to play some of these games. If anything, I do get offers, sponsor offers for phone games, for mobile games, but I'm like, I'm okay. Your mythic team has been like super short on people. That's rough, dude. But I mean, that's that 915 is like, it's like so good or it's good to the point where people look at it and be like, wow, there's so many quality of life changes. Why am I going to play now? I'm just going to wait. And that feels like the right thing to do. I'm still going to write a guide for, I'm still going to write a guide for it. But don't you have a phone? La, 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 la. Let's see. I didn't do... I was supposed to do something yesterday for my druid, but I was lazy. Is there any last minute news that I should be looking at? Yeah, like my feed is all over the place with... my feed is all over the place with this censoring stuff. Someone writes, yeah, this is what my Twitter feed's like. If you say you support Blizz workers who have endured shitty, sexist work conditions and then balk at those workers' efforts to impact positive change, you don't actually support Blizzard workers. And that's one, that's I think that's the tone that sort of influences my own tone. My thoughts are my own, but the way that but some of the way that I come off with some of these opinions, I think Twitter definitely does play some small part on this. Let's see. Did we do Frostpunk? Oh, let me look for some sales. A good chunk of the income that I make from stream, and I should remind you, the income, the money you make from Twitch is shit. It mostly goes towards like buying games and whatnot. So I'm super appreciative of people who like subscribe and all that stuff. I feel like this whole September promotion, it's being kind of like dogged down by like Twitch drama itself, as well as the state of WoW and then a number of things. But let's see. Frostpunk was something that I was kind of interested in checking out, although I have a feeling it's a hard game to play. And I don't know, like, is it a very streamable game? Oh, there's a second one coming out? And it's $29-30. Let's see. Yeah, I remember the premise is you have a city and it's cold and you got to keep it warm and you need to grow. But I first saw one pre-streamed it. Changing old content, even the smallest part, is only to suit the snowflakes. The snowflakes in that culture. It's not really a positive change in the end. It's usually content that rarely gets seen. It's just done to make these fools shut up. Here's the thing, though. People haven't been saying much about it, but it's happening anyway. So the question is, who's saying it? And is that who? Do they matter more than us? Again, though, like my takes on it, it's like it doesn't affect me one way or another. So if you want to change it, go ahead. But of course, on the other side of things, if it doesn't affect you that much, just leave it in. What's the difference? I'm just gonna open WoW and then go from there. It's opening WoW is nice and safe. It's such a safe place to fall back into. Because I do have stuff to do. I have a lot of anima to farm. Oh, baby. I want to try to make it so that it'd be pretty easy for me to... because my plan in 915 is to have my paladin learn everything. He's going to do all the stuff. It's not just Twitch. It's just streaming in general. Right now, I feel like streaming a WoW is tough. So no, because I think YouTube they sap a lot of they take a lot of your money too. A new thing, not that Twitch or YouTube are too big to fail, but man, it's just it's rough trying to be a competitor. If anything, seeing what happened with, oh god, what was it? Mixer. Seeing what happened with Mixer and Ninja and some of those other dudes that signed those exclusivity deals, only for it to fizzle out. It feels like those smaller platforms that try to blow up, it's like cryptocurrency. Like some new crypto popped up, let's try to get people into it, but then it's only a couple people that really cash out from that. I think YouTube takes less than 75%. As an affiliate, see, it's funny, like when you're a Twitch affiliate, they take like a certain amount, which is like close to 50%. But then when you become a partner, they take more. They take more than that because they figure that, oh, you have a much bigger audience or whatever. So, that's what you get. So the question would be like, is it even worth ever hitting partner, or is I'm not knowledgeable enough. I think like if you stayed an affiliate but you had like a huge following, they still eventually just take a bigger cut anyway, because it would be dumb, because otherwise it'd be really dumb, right? If they just made it so where, well, I'm just going to stay an affiliate because I make more money. I'm going to be giving Twitch like thousands and thousands of dollars for what? Emotes? So I can get more emotes and shit? Fuck that. So, plus the rule that you need to re-upload stuff on. I think that applies to partners too. Even partners, they have to wait 20. I think they do. Which is, but I don't know how often that rule is enforced, because you see lots of people that will just take clips and they'll upload those clips to YouTube. And from there, it's like, oh, whose responsibility is it to make sure that those clips aren't uploaded? Twitch can't do anything about it. They can't blame the streamer for it. In my case, though, it's me that's putting it up, though. So they can definitely blame me for it as much as they want. I wanted to go to Animaland. No, that's still it now. Can players even live stream on YouTube? Yeah. See, that's what makes streaming on YouTube very because people think streaming, people think Twitch. People do not tend to think YouTube, which is odd. Devin Nash has a bunch of great videos on the business side of Twitch versus YouTube. Like some real talk. I'm gonna depress you a little bit. Like, I do wonder, like, is it the game, which is in a bad state, which not numbers wise, but perception wise, it's in a bad state. Is it the game, or is it me? I wondered to myself. I know I give odd takes every now and then. I know that I don't take weeks and weeks to put out top quality videos, and I don't do comedy. I don't do too much in the comedy side of things, and haven't done lore in a while either. But the channel, I haven't looked at the numbers. I'm gonna do the worst thing in the world and look at the numbers live. Where's the YouTube link? YouTube link, Yahoo! Hello. All right. So. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so subs are still down. Views are pretty far down. No, that's the wrong thing. I'm totally looking at the wrong stuff. Oh well. Yeah, stuff's down, and you know it is kind of a bummer. I did quests, right? I did pick up quests. Good. All right. Offerings, animers. Yeah, in order to make that like the stream money that you get from YouTube is really like meh. You don't really notice it at all. It comes from the occasional ads, and you see it like translate, and you see it translate a little bit. With Twitch, it's lower. You're definitely relying on like the paid subscriptions and things like that in order to get by. Woo. As for making a living, I actually gave some thought to this, and I'm still giving some thought to this because yesterday there were a number of job postings over at Blizzard of all places that talked about associate positions for quest design. There was a spot for a rewards designer, but it is not an associate position. And I was like, and I gave it several but I don't think I'd have I'd have the chops for it. Part of me wonders like, I wonder if the competition is less right now, considering everything that's going on. So I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd be a shoo-in. It's like, so Soul, what sort of qualifications do you have? And I'll be like, I'm a loyal Blizzard shill. You're in. You're you're in, son. Welcome to the team. And here is your censoring pack. And get right to it. Start censoring the game. I don't know. But yeah, definitely like, and it's not just me. Like streams like mine, they've been pretty dependent on the state of the game, and it's like the common statement that you hear from folks as well. You should diversify. You should go variety and all that. The reality though is, it's tough. It is extremely tough to like switch or to just play whatever and hope that your personality carries it for you. No need to stay loyal, shill. Just mentioning being the only shill left with the damn that shade. All right, where's the thing? There's like offerings. All right. Have you guys seen the Diablo 2 cinematics that were data mined from Wowhead? Because fuck, they look good. Like they just redid. They made brand new cinematics for like those intros and stuff. Fuck, they look good. I don't even remember the context behind most of them. It's been such a long time since I've played Diablo 2. But undeniably, like they just look fucking fantastic. Not gonna lie, I would love to see you once at Dr. K in the show about mental health, next to streaming and stuff. I've seen like a little bit of his shows. I mean, I don't know what I'd contribute. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I would contribute. And just to overshare, there are times even right now, I wonder to myself, what am I even contributing to the gaming space? What am I contributing to my audience, and that sort of thing? Those are things that kind of claw at the back of folks' heads most of the time when they don't just naturally draw people in. Oh, he makes a topic, so that's good. Good direction. Good direction. But I feel like eventually it's going to come to the point where where I need to decide for myself. Hey, what, full time, trying to do it full time and trying to do the hustle, it's not working out, and I think it's mostly my fault that I haven't developed things hard enough. I didn't learn fast enough, and the way that I approach things just ain't working, or it's just too oversaturated, or stuff like that. I contribute to a chill space that doesn't make me feel like shit for enjoying something. Well, you shouldn't feel like shit for enjoying something. Fuck those guys. That make you feel bad. Although that said, didn't you quit? Didn't you unsub too, Menard? But I mean, you did so for you do so for your own reasons, not because someone makes you feel bad. Sheesh. Yeah, if the time came and I had to cut down or cut off the streaming and YouTube stuffs or whatever, it's not because I'm not having fun with the game. It's just because there aren't enough people that want to enjoy it with me. So, and that's what I want to do, and I feel like there's more that I need to learn if I want to make a place where I just enjoy games and share that with people. I think I gotta work on. I think I gotta work on that. That's the reason I watch you for MMOs. Right on, dude. I mean that'd be. Did I install anything? No, I didn't install any other games yet. I have thought about checking out ESO. I've never played it before, but I'm saving it too. Like today I feel a little off beyond the coffee episode, which are fun to do. Because tomorrow Diablo, and I'm gonna have fun with it. The week after New World, and I wanna have fun with that too. So I'm gonna give that. I'm not gonna do 6-hour days like I did with Tales, but I'm gonna give it the good old 2-3 hours, and give it a good second chance, and just kind of share it. And I'm not, and in that case, I'm not sponsored. There is no one's telling me how I should feel or what I can and can't say. I mean, not very many agreements force you to say certain things or whatever. Anyway, there's actually a lot of leeway that they allow with those sponsored things, but I haven't been able to land a deal, unfortunately. Or maybe I should just settle for whatever I can get, In the middle of a show, I'll just be like, all right, guys, let's pay the bills. Here's the sponsored thing. Feel free to watch it or not. Okay, you share it as a player, not like the others, like, hey, I'm a godlike YouTuber now. Blizzard changed this. Or you're done. I was drawn to the YouTube and stream eventually because your content is not what most of the big ones are. Seriously, I appreciate the comments. I'm not trying to fish for pity or subs, pity subs, or anything like that. I'm glad no one is trying to throw anything at that. But no, it's just some real talk. That's it's tough. It's tough being what I think is I'd like to think that I am honest with my expressions. I make bad takes. I say things that people aren't going to agree with. My mission is not to please the audience or to. Someone tried to correct me. I said kowtow, and someone said kowtow. That doesn't sound right to me, but yeah, my aim is not to appeal, but that makes the road to success infinitely more difficult. If I just want to do my own thing. But I guess I should word that differently. Like, there are things that I want to make that I think would help people out. Like, I like doing guides. I've been brainstorming doing a super basic tanking guide. But I'm also kind of torn too, because it's like, okay, should it be like a tanking guide, or should it be like a tank appreciation video where I talk about why tanking is fucking dope, why it's the best role to have in an MMO. Yeah, I'm like, do you have thoughts on that? Or should I do like a separate thing? Like a tank series of sorts, talk about why it's great, and then follow-up video. Let's if you think it's great, you with me, let's teach you how to tank, and then I'll go through like super basic stuff, easy stuff like the benefits of like line of sight, the pull, basics on how to lead if you struggle with if you struggle a little bit socially, but you're interested in the role, something like that. But yeah, like it's like I like making helpful stuff like that. But I originally started making videos because I didn't like I didn't like what Bellular and Asmongold had to say about WoD. That's the origin story for those who might have missed it. That was the reason why I made videos, because I was like, dude, you guys are, I was thinking, I forgot what my exact thoughts were, but it was something along the lines of, you guys are stupid. Why am I watching you guys? And then I was like, I'm gonna start writing stuff up and sharing my own thoughts. Fuck you guys. Yeah, spite. That's the origin story. Tank anxiety. Interesting. Teach us how to tank. Do I have another tank helping you? That could be my autistic brain now, so sorry if it sounds wrong, but when I join streams and talks like I do here, I feel comfortable in them because in my mind, it builds up to be like a chill room with cool people and some cool drinks, like coffee. And know when I'm here and talk, people understand and make you feel safe. How can I market that? Or how can I spread the word on that? How can I grow that? Hey guys, this is a stream where we're all gonna have like different takes, and we're here to agree to disagree and share thoughts and ideas, but come away from it, shaking hands with gloves on because COVID. How does that build not mass appeal, but how does it build more appeal? It was all the cool people. I haven't been here for 3 years. Why don't you look if you want to look for cool people, Peter, look in the mirror. Oh, I never feel obligated for coffee. Oh, Well, you know what? No one's perfect, Evo. Nobody's perfect. A think tank. A tank think tank. Ah, that's brilliant. A tank think tank. Tank think. Oh god, that's a tongue twister. Even though it doesn't come off the same way. A tank think tank. The K's kill me. Tank think tank. Yeah. To be honest, tanking is probably my favorite role in 14. Should level more tanks. But I did not like it in 14. I cannot stop talking enough shit about it's. I think the more fundamental thing is just the lack of customization. That's what kills me for 14. Can't customize. Oh, you want to customize? Different job. What? No, I still want to be a paladin. Nope. You're gonna do something different. Fuck. That kills it for me. Totally demotivates me from the dread of leveling another tank, blah blah blah. You've been taking Savage Soul expansion in 14 and I am in love. No, that's great. I'm not gonna force myself to love the thing though. Whoop. Get it? Yes. I think I just need to like really sit down and finish up the crafting jobs. Once I do that and I really run out of things to do, then and my back's to the wall, then I'll be like, all right, I gotta find something else to do, or I'm just done. Or I'm just done here. But this is not forced. I am legit excited to play Endwalker. I really want to try it out. I want to try out that new 14 expansion experience because I've never done it before. I've never tried out the new thing for a different MMO for like a long time. I had a period where I would buy a new MMO when it first comes out and be like, all right, let's try this out and see how it feels. And then by the time by the time the weekend is over, I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. This did not appeal to me the way that I think that they wanted to. Bummer. Back to WoW. I remember not infamously in Rift. Yeah, I think it was Rift. I was joking. I was like, whoa, this is a new WoW expansion. And, their general chat got super pissed because, of course, I got super pissed. I was being a dick. But that's how, I'm like, I got some game time left. I might as well do it and troll people, I guess. Get it. Don't fall. Oh, what? That one just makes you fall off. Why would I want that one? That's a bad idea. I think tanks of different skill levels and just talk about tanking. Getting other people in on it. Ooh, personalities. Ooh, but I'll get socially awkward, dude. I think my safe spot, my safe zone is starting off with some of the anxiety and the basics. So I may kind of like stick to that. Hey, Dragon, yeah, dude, we're almost at 2 years, buddy. Thank you, man. Thank you. Gunbreaker's fun, unlike the Paladin. I think about selling your strengths. There is no need to reinvent the wheel, and maybe just recombine some things you already do in a different way. That's not a bad idea. Basically, WoW TSs. By the time you're skilled enough for the minimal best gear, you've out-leveled it already. All of it is a raid. What's TSs? Personal opinion, I think a good portion of your non-enjoyment in 14 comes from me playing the Paladin. Well, then that's a bummer. Oh, trade skills. Okay. Well, trade skill. Well, professions, trade skills, jobs, whatever you want to call it. They're dead. By the time you're skilled enough for them. Yeah, that's... that is a bummer, and one that I am unapologetically loathsome over. I've talked shit about professions in WoW, and made suggestions, and I fell, and made suggestions and all sorts of other things. You know, we'll see if anything ever happens from that. Get it? Yes. I'd love to. Yeah. Give me WoD professions, and then the game will be fixed forever. So you guys are convinced that is the paladin job so bad? Is that the takeaway that I'm getting from some of you guys, that it's just a bad job? Because I can accept that. I've been leveling mine lately. It's 71 now, and I gotta say it's bland compared to many other jobs that I've played. I don't know which one I would want to play though. I obviously haven't taken much consideration over it, because I'm like, none of the other ones use shields. That's boring. Because that's like, for you guys who know me, you understand. You might disagree with me, but you understand that sword and board, man. If I'm not using a shield, it's weird. I thought 14 Pally is getting big changes in the expansion. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like what we're seeing in 14 is that the confetti ability, it's actually going to kick off another combo. So they're making the rotation a little bit longer, which is another thing about 14 that I'm just like, ugh. There was that, and the Wrecker Scat. Sorry, that's how I pronounce it in my head. The Wrecker Scat skill. You can use it regardless of your MP, so you can fire that off. Basically, you have more flexibility on when you want to switch to like the ranged sort of part of your rotation, without, and you only have to wait for the cooldown. It's no longer fully dependent on your mana. But we're not quite sure what the confetti combo, post confetti combo is. I hope I know what I'm talking about on that. I demonstrated such a minimal understanding, not even remembering what the names of the abilities are, based on that little job video, or the job action video. So I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about a lot of what I just said. Just bear with me there. Agreed with Gunblade or Dark Knight are better and more fun to play, MO. Have you read anything interesting lately? Now, here's another thing. Outside of instances, what is there to do out in the world with PvE? Because right now I'm doing this whatever loop. Oh, hey, that's right. Renowned stuff. Right now I'm bumming around doing world content, blah blah blah. I think the best equivalent would be like I don't even know how to pronounce it. Bozja. That part of 14 is very lacking. Oh yes, that's what fucks me up. So this is gonna sound weird. So I hope that I'm coming off this right. Part of my enjoyment in WoW is celebrating what I've done as a player in two ways. One is through my beautiful transmog. Check it, baby. I got the low cut thing. I got the glasses. I'm fucking fabulous, right? No, I'm not. But I'm going to make you stare at this for a little bit. Part of it is this, for sure. And if I were to do a side-by-side comparison from 14 to WoW, 14 does it better. because they have different sorts of transmog. I mean, to be fair, like I'm still convinced that I peaked in 14. Like my whole thing with like the full suit plus the full helmet, I'm done. Like there's no going back from that. There's nothing else that looks good. Everything else is shit. Pure, literal shit. But they have player housing. Fuck yeah. So that more than makes up for it. The other thing that I like celebrating my accomplishments in an MMO when I can go out there and just fuck shit up, right? Where I can go around and pull all the things in a zone and not die and just watch the bodies hit the floor in this symphony maelstrom of gore and corpses, lootable corpses. That's like blood to me, right? And when I was playing through 14, I'm like, where is that feeling? Because I'm not getting that feeling. I can't celebrate my character's accomplishments in the same way. And it's fundamental. It's fundamental because in 14 you can just buy 530s? No. 520s, I think. You can buy item level 520 gear for pretty darn cheap. And then you're pretty much done. You're done. Unless you want to go for like the better cosmetics and things like that. And those are totally worth it if it's worth it to you. But beyond that, it's like, what else am I going for there? Where can I capture that feeling of, ooh, my character's dope? And I don't. I haven't found that. I could sit around town and watch all the dancers and stuff and appreciate the other people, the things that other people made. That's cool. But do I want to pay $14-15 for that? To just watch stuff? Not exactly. That doesn't quite get me the same way. It's a different sort of immersion, right? I think you get the better social immersion in 14 because of what they offer there. But in terms of combat, I I'll definitely come back to WoW and I'll just pump through dailies and stuff like that and appreciate what my character does. I would get more entertainment out of throwing on old gear that I picked up. The Heart of Azeroth, the Ash Ketchum cloak, whatever the fuck it's called. Go into Cataclysm Time Walking, which is going on right now, and be like, oh, here we go, and I'll just like wreck stuff, even though my item level is scaled down. With the things that I've earned, I can celebrate that with violence. That's a big difference between the games. And so when I'm on a paladin tank or whatever tank in 14, I guess I can't find that same sort of appreciation in the combat side of things. It's tough to capture this feeling because otherwise I would have talked about this already, because I haven't done a Project 14 episode in a while, and it's mostly because I haven't been playing 14. I want to feel cool, and in 14 I can, but not the way that I want to. I want to go out there and just feel dope because mobs are like, oh, let's get them, and I'm like, nope. And yeah, it just doesn't happen the same way. When it comes to raid content, it's very fundamental. There's just not exactly a night and day difference. It's more like a apples and oranges sort of difference. Like there's just different things going on with how encounter mechanics and balance and all that stuff works. And I can appreciate the way that they do both games, even if I don't have any experience in raiding in 14 at all. And it's, and a lot of it is because the differences mostly lie with, with 14, you very much have that sense of personal responsibility, regardless of your actual performance. And by performance, I mean your DPS and things like that. There's a reason why, by default, they don't really support damage meters and things like that, because it's more important to follow that personal responsibility, follow the lines, or in like Savage or Ultimate content, just remember everything. Remember the cues, because it's all on like timers and things like that. WoW has a more jazzy improv sort of feel to it. Cool, we can beat this DPS threshold if we're going fast enough, or it's a bad feeling, but we need to hold off on DPS so we can handle this mechanic and then recover from it, and then we can go ahead and pump, and that sort of thing. So if 14 is like a symphony, then WoW is like an improv comedy club or something like that. Something like that. It's a shitty comparison. But that's the feeling that I get from like the end game content. And I prefer the improv. Not because it's better, but because it connects with me better. If I took my raid team in WoW, I was like, all right, guys, we're going to go into like Savage content, or maybe just extremes, just to start with. Oh, fuck ups all over the place. We'd keep dying because the same people would be moving too slow, and there would be no way to really make up for it because everyone's got to be coordinated. And I would feel bad because one, it'd have to be like a static team, because we can't just have people jump in and out. And two, there's considerably less room for, to make up for people that just aren't doing the mechanics right, unless we have healers just blow all their mana to keep rezzing them over and over again, which is there's no point. But oh well. Let's see. What did I miss? I was just like, I just went off on that. Bozja. Can you help me out with the pronunciation over that? Because I know it's not Bozja, because I've heard them say it in game once, and I haven't heard it since. So, and I haven't done it yet, so I can't really judge anything on that. There's not much to do in the world outside of leveling and gathering. Yeah, that's another thing that kills me. It's like, oh yeah, dude, there's all these other things you can do. You can get hella experience. And I'm like, why do I need experience? I'm max level. And then people be like, other jobs? And I'm like, what other jobs? Other jobs? Huh? I understand not digging Bozja, but in comparison to the relic grind in Heavensward and Stormblood, it's way better. As a new player who has to catch up and do whatever they want, I wouldn't say lacking, it's just different. Korthia is done in an hour. 14 has many life things to do, fun things. I don't think that's a fair comparison. A lot of folks compare Shadowlands to Final Fantasy 14, and that doesn't feel right. But at the same time, I get why they do it, because Shadowlands is the relevant content, and everything else has been totally trivialized, and you blow through it hella fast. So I get where people are coming from, but I'm trying to think of scaled content. I remember seeing complaints that people still can't do the Deaths of Chromie scenario because they don't know what the fuck's going on. I still haven't finished Korthia, so an hour is underselling it. Dailies and minor collection. That's what I managed to be doing. That was within my interest. No. I'm like in 14. My interests lie with gathering and the basically Disciples of the Hand and Land. I'm just doing crafting stuff because the PvE side of things has like my interest is like 0.6 out of 100 right now. I've like, now that the story's done, I don't have a lot of interest. I still haven't done that robot quest, whatever it is, but it's yeah, I just haven't done it yet. And maybe I'll get my kick out of it, but it's a one and done thing. And that's something that I will play the shit out of in an offline game. Like the Tales game, oh, I played the crap out of it. Put in 50 something hours into it over the past week or so. But I know it's a one and done experience. And now that I put in that money, I did it, and I'm done. And that's it. That's what I get out of it. 14 to me at the moment feels like, it's a game that I want to play like it's an offline game, and it wants to charge me money, and I don't get why. Could you explain the Fruitgate controversy to me? I've been traveling due to a family emergency and thought that we're all still mad about Blizzard treading dog. Oh yeah, that was a while ago. The really quick summary is that, remember when Blizzard was like, when the WoW team was like, hey guys, we're going to scrub a bunch of references, and we're going to try to make the game feel like safer or something like that, and you're going to expect changes over the next couple of days. It turns out the next couple of days is more like the next couple of days for hotfixes, but we're also going to have a patch that does a lot of these things too. So little things like that have been changing. Paintings, references to NPCs, a raid boss and an encounter, and stuff like that, and people are pissed because they don't agree with it happening, but we don't know the whole story about why it's happening in the first place. We're just making guesses and reacting to our guesses. So I feel pretty awesome when I get shit done in 14. While the raids may be fewer, I feel the encounter quality is unmatched. I'm not going to contest that at all. 14, also make sure that no old content is outdated either, right? That's correct. WoW is like a metal concert in a mosh pit. Has to do with Japanese culture, where in Japan the whole is more important than the individual, and in America it is the other way around more often than not. If you want a clear savage content, you really have to stick to a rigid way of playing in most games, during progression at least. Bozia. Okay. That makes sense. WoW is that rock band that breaks up and reforms over the next few years. First time chatter from Leliaz. Feelings seem to vary greatly depending on what a player wants out of either game. I enjoy collecting pets, mounts, and transmog, and golden making and alt, and WoW just feels better to me for those things that I enjoy. Which raid boss changed? It was the twin consorts in Mist Pandaria. So now it's referred to as the twin Empyreans. The twin consorts, the reference to them is, well, one, the name, and two, that they are possessions of Lei Shen, the Thunder King, and that they're prizes. They're basically his wife, slave people, or wives. I don't know about wives, slaves, but he refers to them as possessions. And so they change them in such a way that they're more like champions of Lei Shen. So take that as you will, whatever you like. Yeah, I know that 14, like if we took kind of a metaphorical look at 14, you look at the story themes and things like that, and you see constant themes of coming together, uniting people, bringing them all in, and of course you also have this prevailing friendship and camaraderie with the Scions, and how you and all your buddies are doing adventures, and to try to keep, for me at least, like the way they try to keep us immersed in and invested into these characters is that you get to play as them every now and then, and you get to spam their buttons and do things and play as them. So capturing that feeling helps to strengthen the relationship between like the player and these characters that otherwise aren't really by your side the whole time, but it does its best to try to make it so through the use of cutscenes, context, and the personality that comes from all their dialogue, and I think it does it really, really well. But I just don't. But once the story's over, and I'm not connected to that, the thread that keeps me there isn't quite there. Even player housing there, it has not, because I want to give it more of a chance. It just hasn't pulled me in yet. The itch hasn't quite developed in that sense. I know I talk about that. I know I talk about that a lot. I'm like, dude, just play the goddamn game and start doing stuff. The problem with scrubbing all these things is that it ignores that these things happen in other cultures, and we're fighting these people. They are supposed to be bad, and they should have traits or traditions that we find abhorrent. I think the problem or the tough part there is that Blizzard makes these bosses that are just kind of one and done. We've never heard of them before. There's no history behind most of them. They're just there to give us loot. That's pretty much it. They're almost faceless. They could have provided no context at all, and maybe we would be like, hey man, we should get more story behind these dudes that were like toppling over. So we did. On one side, I'm like, yeah, Lei Shen is doing these bad things, like having a servant sister wives, and we should defeat him. But why are we? Then, yeah, no, I'm with that too. It's like we're supposed to, having a boss like the twin consorts. Isn't it not supposed to make us more pissed at Lei Shen? And I haven't re-looked at the encounter. But they haven't. But one thing that would probably pull at the emotional strings a little bit harder is if there was dialogue with those consorts that made it seem like they're not really his consorts. They're more like his prisoners, and they're being treated like property and stuff like that. It's like, oh, if they said that, and maybe they are, and it just kind of glossed over. I just never noticed. But if something like that was there, then that would definitely motivate me to be like, fuck this guy. We're so taking him down after those guys, right? Yeah, man. But they don't do that. They stick with the very basics. He's a bad guy. This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to destroy us all. We got to put a stop to him. It's not the nuance. There's no quest to liberate, to liberate anybody. Nothing like that. A lot of that story just isn't there. It sticks to other topics that aren't related to that. So making these changes, to me, it doesn't resonate very much with me, because the previous references, they didn't really hold. They didn't really make a strong connection with me in the first place. So changing it isn't a big deal. I'm fascinated that they're so sold in getting rid of all of these potentially controversial references in a game that's pretty much built on a foundation of extreme racism like Horde and Alliance. Well, maybe that's a good sign for cross-faction play, and we'll see. No doubt we might... Well, someone's going to make that sort of connection. Wow, look at this, guys. Not only are they taking out the sexism and blah blah blah, they're taking out the soul of World of Warcraft by doing this and this and this. Lifting the faction divide and making us all care bears and making us all love each other. Grr. I'm gonna unsub, and if you do, that's fine. But that could be it too. Isn't there that one sexy area in Black Temple? Are they going to do anything with that? Lol. Yes, I do wonder about that too. But I think I'd rather wait to react to those when when it actually happens. And we are killing all of them too. There were also concubines in Karazhan, closer to the Maiden of Light. Yeah, so there's potentially like a lot of stuff that I think rightfully people would be fearful of. They just might delete that altogether and put the matron in there. I mean, it would be easy enough to just rename the NPCs. I think that could be hot fixable actually, if they really wanted to do that. I don't know. Maybe. So now, all right, humor me. Which tank should I check out in 14? I have like no gear for them too. Yeah, so what happens, right? If I choose, so I have like level 80 gear, right? But I don't have lower level gear. So if I try out like another tank job, doesn't that fuck it all up? Do I get basic gear or am I screwed? I can't believe that there's a dev or even a team out there with a checklist of offensive things that are to be resolved. Is there a checklist of things? You'd be naked. Great. So I gotta buy gear. Fuck. I don't know if I have any money, actually. Yeah, I don't know if I'd have money. I don't know if I have gold, because yeah, I'll do that later. Because yeah, like what I would do, like I would just take whatever money that I get from crafting and selling like some of the stuff that I've been getting. And then there's that little punch card thing where you sometimes get random crap and then sometimes it's really good. And then selling that stuff. So I've been kind of cycling through. You think Gunbreaker? Gunbreaker or Dark Knight? Guess I'll do Gunbreaker. Yeah. I love Warrior, but I think it would be too brain dead. I mean, it's not like Paladin. It's not like tanking in WoW has very complicated rotations because they're on priority, and that's where I get most of my joy. And remember, like tanking is really different. A lot of what happens there are, oh, I did a thing. I got armaments, yay! A lot of what WoW tanking is priority stuff. You're adapting to the situation at hand, and otherwise you're building towards increasing your defense more than you're just doing a DPS rotation. Warrior gets big hits and you can force crit. Yeah, I don't care about that. Gunbreaker feels like fast-paced. Oh, God, I don't like either of those. I just want to be a tank. Yeah, that's just thinking about it psychs me out, and that's the wrong way to think. So stop it. Every job in 14 is deep. Yeah, that's a really. I have a big problem with that. Don't worry about brain dead. Yeah, even the paladin is just like, build up the combo to apply the dot, and then hit the rec scat thing, and then hit the 5 caster buttons, and then confetti. and then repeat forever. Yeah, so yeah, it just doesn't feel great. Like I love being able to have kind of fewer skills that mean so much more. Consecration is my is my safe zone. And if I'm grabbing dudes, I can easily just grab hella dudes with my, grab dudes from the side with an Avenger shield. And I just feel a lot more agile with, I think that's it. I feel more agile as a WoW tank because because I'm not constrained to a rotation. And I can just be like, ooh, I can grab that, or this thing happens, so I can pop that, and and adapt to that sort of situation. In 14, there's fewer things to worry about that mean a lot more. If there are ads, there are ads. Like these guys, fuck you, right? But you got to handle it like kind of the same way. But otherwise, being locked to nothing but a DPS rotation. If you guys recall, like part of my thing about DPSing, like I don't like DPSing in WoW. It puts me to sleep because DPSing puts me to sleep. Following that sort of routine, it doesn't do much to like keep me awake. And so since 14 is all about that, I am legit constantly falling asleep. I'm not speaking literally, but it's I mentally check out, and I don't feel good playing that. I hate the concept of healers having to be DPS. If I were a healer, I would rather focus on healing, let the deeps, and I'll make sure people stay alive. Yeah, like the revelation on being a healer is that your job isn't to heal; it's more like to prevent people from dying, which is different. Or to be that last line of defense to make sure that people don't die, because most of the responsibility of not letting yourself die is on the person. Going back to like individual responsibility, the only thing healers really need to heal are those moments of unavoidable damage, and they just need to handle that. And their job is to res people when they do make mistakes. I find that because I've done healing in 14, I now DPS. Maybe more than I should as a. I find that because I've done healing in 14, I now DPS maybe more than I should as a healer. No, that's fine, because I mean, people like that. Folks like the idea of, okay, if there's nothing to heal, what am I going to do? I'm going to do some damage. That's why Disc was popular, or I guess it is still popular in some circles, where, if I'm not doing some immediate healing, I want to do things to still help the team. And for a Disc Priest, that means, hey, cool, I'm going to be able to bubble people and protect people from incoming damage before the damage actually happens. That's kind of a cool thing. The whole atonement thing, that helps. Druids can enjoy this to a certain extent too, by throwing down hots before they know that damage is going out. Shaman are a bit more reactive, but also not, because they have tons of different raid cooldowns that they can throw in to keep everyone alive. But as for the whole downtime of things, but that's different. Between the whole downtime of things, what can you do? Oh, we can DPS, and they often do, which is great. And that's why, as much as I don't know if Grid's still here, that's why I love Bloodlink as a domination shard set bonus, because Bloodlink does free damage. That's it. As long as you hit a thing, as long as you hit that main target once, then you can just kind of sit and let Bloodlink do. You can let Bloodlink do most of the damage for you. Oh, and it does a little bit of passive healing too, so it's kind of nice. Again, it's one of those it's one of those things that I love about WoW. Absolutely love about WoW, that it's janky by adding items and effects and talents and other variables that just screw up everything else. It sounds ludicrous. It is ludicrous that seeing a game that is balanced like 14 is boring to me because the encounters are the same. You got to do it the right way. There's a right way and the wrong way. And otherwise you just kind of DPS, everyone DPSs and does the routine the same way. The guides that you see, as far as I know, because I haven't seen guides, they'll all tell you the exact same strategy. I believe there's no variation there. With WoW, you can improvise and be like, no, dude, just do this crazy thing, and it's gonna it'll blow up. And there's room to think of inventive ways to complete encounters or dungeons or whatever. And it lets classes be celebrated because they can do like this really, really awesome thing. However, they might not be as awesome at another thing as someone else. So that's just like the tip of the friction that comes with the shittiness of balancing in WoW, because no fight is the same, because your comp might be different and you can feel punished or you can feel challenged by the comp that you have. I feel challenged by the comp that I have, but if we could still accomplish our goals, then that feels really cool. It feels really, really cool when we can succeed in ways that people can look at and be like, what the fuck are they doing? Dude, they should just get more DPS, and they should just get more DPS, get some of those raid buffs and do it. How the fuck did they do it? They must have been on that boss for like ever. And you're right. We might have been on that boss forever, but we still did it. And that's dope. Super dope. If as a ranger I can sing while shooting your ass with a bow, and that helps my arrows magically, that would be badass. But keep a bard separate. That's what I like about Lord of the Rings, is a separate minstrel class, and they heal via singing or do damage by singing by reducing morale. Okay, that's why I don't like to heal. I like to focus on one thing and do it to the best of my ability. Welcome back, Menard. Eden 8 has this BS mechanic called Light Rampant. It's a terrible thing. There are a lot of ways to resolve it, but there's really only one or two widely accepted ways to do it. Ebo, you make a good point. Like, I love tanking, but I do weird things with my tanking, and that's part of why I love doing it. It's because I consider myself like kind of intermediate with my tanking ability. Like, I know what to do. I can adapt to stuff. I can figure shit out. But it's also easy enough to let me adapt and kind of do other things too. Like how healers are. If I'm not doing any healing at the moment, if there's periods of low damage and people actually know what they're doing and not getting hit by stupid stuff, I'm going to DPS. For me as a tank, I have this unhealthy obsession with wanting to not get healed by healers. I'm obsessed with self-healing, and so and that reflects in the gear that I wear. Like this trinket is awesome. I got this like just the other day, and it's really good. Provides a really strong damage reduction thingamajigger, whatever. But otherwise, most of what I do is based on bubbles and keeping myself and trying to keep myself alive and so that way the healers can be like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna do damage. That's fine. And I happen to do decent amounts of damage with the way that I fight as well. Yesterday, someone was asking me about patch 915, and they were like, so in 915 you're definitely gonna go Venthyr, right? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay Kyrian, and if anything, I'm gonna go Night Fae first to get like that wood armor, because that's dope. And I think that person didn't hear me correctly. I think the way that I said it they understood it as, no, I'm going to raid as Night Fae, which I won't because it doesn't feel like a good idea. But the dude was like, and excuse my language here, I'm just quoting him. He was like, "Are you retarded?" And I'm like, "No, I just like, you know," and I think we just kind of miscommunicated there. I'm like, "No, I want the wood suit. That's it." But the takeaway from that was, like I said, it was like what I said yesterday. 915 is going to challenge people because the flexibility of being able to choose your covenant or choose to switch or whatever, it's going to challenge people to be like, okay, you've been this unoptimal covenant for this long, you need to switch, blah blah blah. And those sorts of expectations are probably going to be put out when you're in a pug, most notably, because they don't know you. They want to see the best version of you right away, or even if they don't know who you are. But I'm like, screw that, dude. I like being a Kyrian, and I've tailored my gameplay, and I've went all in with my investment mentally and with my skills and all that stuff, and it fits my playstyle, and it works. And bosses have still died from it. Maybe they could have died sooner. I don't care, because my happiness is far more important than how I look on the meters. And for some, that goes hand in hand, and that's totally fine. But don't try to push that on me. And I feel like people have become insensitive enough that they try to push that onto other people. You know, you should be that meta thing because otherwise we're not going to be successful, which translates to I'm not going to be successful. I'm wasting my time. Me. And I get it. I still totally get it. Even if I think that's selfish and it disrespects the other player and the efforts that they put into what they feel like they enjoy, I get it. But that's why I hate pugs. Fuck, I hate pugs, man. because it encourages that sort of discriminatory behavior. It's like, oh, you're a Night Fae paladin? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get out. Nope, not even giving you a second thought. How does this guy have a really high Mythic plus IO score or whatever? Oh, I'm sure he or she got carried. And they might be like the best paladin on the goddamn planet. And they're a Night Fae paladin. Whatever. You know, that's they overcame that. But people aren't gonna care. They just want to see the meta. Do you know why Night Fae Holy Shocks taste so good? Because they're seasonal flavored. Damn. Damn. Good. And see, Menarg loves self-healing as a blood DK. Yeah, blood DKs are great. Now, I don't like the reactive, the reactiveness of it, but that's their class. You know, that's how they play it. And sometimes that makes them really good for some things, sometimes not so much. And as much as the drama or the roller coaster might frustrate people, I think that's really cool. I think that's part of what makes the game special in its own janky ass way. I like saying janky. It's like he's lucky. He is lucky I'm not a healer in his raid. I would go out of my way to heal him. Yeah, you should look at our meters. I heal myself a lot, dude. Yeah, depending on, well, if I out heal you, Shocks or Sosman, then that's your fault. Let's see. Blood DK is scared to heal. The HP bars are so bad. Yeah, it's I've seen that struggle because I'll watch myself. You know, when I'm trying to tank a thing and I'm taking a lot of damage, you know, I'll see myself like spike down, but then my globals are up and I hit my death strike and boom, I'm back to full again. And I'm sure that fucking frustrates healers, right? To a point where, okay, maybe we need to like not care about that. HP goes from 100, yeah, something like basically that. But so it can feel a little frustrating. What I absolutely love about pal healing, or about tanking / healing as my paladin, is that I help a lot with sometimes really, it depends on how I spec. I can help with like spiky damage. If someone's low and I can see that they've been sitting low for a little bit, I can just throw my wog and boom, like they might go all the way back up to full if it happens to crit, and usually it does, which is fucking awesome. Or I can spec for Judgment of Light, which does not do anything to keep the team alive in during periods of like high damage or whatnot. However, it does do a great job of maintenance. It prevents one fewer renew or rejuve that needs to go out, because the team is okay between a Judgment of Light plus a Blood Link, and then there's the other soft skills that healers are putting out too, freaking a Healing Stream Totem or Echo of Light and things like that. So those small things, they help. I contribute to that a little bit, and I love that sort of utility as a WoW paladin, because I can do all those things. I can throw blessings on people. I can throw, I can make someone immune to melee damage. I can give a really strong 30% damage reduction cooldown on a target, and there's so many other things that I can do. I love that adaptability. I'm not pulling enough. Let's see. You just hit 72. Nice. You're caught up, Jalzan. Woo! And see, as a blood DK, I never. Yeah, you need to pull more stuff, Lo-Fi. That's the cool thing about. That's another cool thing. Like, WoW gives me the opportunity to pull too much. The only opportunity that you have in 14 that I've seen is going wall to wall in instances, and I find 14 has some really cool environment. I'm talking about dungeons now. 14 has some really cool environments and facades, but the dungeon gameplay itself is so boring. I can't spin it in a way to make it sound good, except that it looks, especially later dungeons, they look dope. They look great. They feel immersive, puts you into it. Until, but you get that feeling when you first go into the dungeon, and then you see that brief little cinematic that kind of like kind of takes you through. It's like, okay, let's dive in, and then you're diving in, and you're really seeing the action and seeing the environment. But that immersion, for me at least, this is just me, because I'm talking such mad shit right now. For me, the immersion ends as soon as you actually play the dungeon. Because that's it. After that, it's wall-to-wall shit, and then you're done. And those are dungeons. Correct me if I'm wrong, aren't EX dungeons same thing? Just harder, I believe. I know you just gotta work a little bit harder at it. But there's no additional challenge to it. Actually, no. It's not even about the challenge. It's just the lack of engagement there. I'm like, man, it just doesn't like grab me. Go in, go to the wall, Rex Cat, AoE ability things, confetti, and then do the spinnies. Spin to win. Forever. I got the aggro, I'm done. There's no oh, and pop my shield block thing whenever it's up. Or whenever things look bad. Now, it's not like tanking heroics is much different, because we overgear it for sure, smash through it, and like that's it. But the whole, I think the whole sense of wall to wall feels so mathematically restrictive. It's like, how about, can't I go past the wall? Let me go further, man. What's up, Square? No balls. Challenge me. Right? Can't do that. And that's okay. ultimately, that's okay. EX trials they do take learning, but for the most part, it does require everyone to be on top of their shit. So okay, cool. So I'm happy to be corrected. So it's not the same thing, is it? It's not just wall to wall AoE stuff down done. I love when I'm on my unholy DK and a tank does a big pull and I'm like Army of Darkness, Apocalypse, yeah. So yeah, those moments of improvisation are cool. I mean, that's a normal thing though. I'm not gonna dare make a claim that only WoW can do that sort of thing. Well, when I was talking about that, I was mostly talking about like raid encounters, things like that. The difference between something that's really stringent and situations where you can improvise and stuff like that. But that's cool. Maybe I'll try them out in Endwalker. I'll be eager to mess. Yeah, I shouldn't. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I don't think I will try out another tanking class. Yeah, Paladin all the way. I would feel like a fish out of water. Even playing through like a Death Knight or a Druid here in WoW, meh. The interest is, it's tough to feel interested in that. Hey, tribe. Yeah, we are just chatting. That's pretty much that. Oh, wait, the chat thing is supposed to. I thought I had the chat thing show up here too. Did I not do that right? All right, hold up. I'm gonna fuck with the stream for a little bit. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm going to put it. Hopefully, unless I mess shit up, we'll see how distracting this is for people. And if it is distracting, then I will turn it off. But I thought that I put the chat box here. So. Holy Shield or hammers. It depends. If I'm doing dungeons, then I go Blessed Hammer. Like right now, it's a fortified week. So, fortified week. Yeah, it's a fortified week. So, Blessed Hammer, I feel better in that. Because I'm doing multiple targets, whatever. If I'm doing, in most cases though, single target stuff, Holy Shield. Part of the big benefit of Blessed Hammer, it's not just that it does a little bit better at hitting multiple targets and does more damage, plus reduction. It's also that I can generate holy power without a target. Like I don't need to hit a thing in order to. Thoughts on Kina? I don't know what Kina is. You're gonna try a Paladin in 14 because they have high damage and I like high damage tanks. Yeah, they do a lot of damage. They do a lot of focused damage, or at least it feels like it does. I don't have I can't really compare it to anything. All right, let's see. What is Kina? Kina Bridge of Souls. Okay, let's see. Bridge of Spirits. Okay. This looks a little familiar. Hold on. Oh, I remember seeing this in a preview once upon a time where like she's climbing a thing and then she flies and other such stuff. I have not checked it out. Yeah, I have not checked it out. I blew my gaming budget for the month on Tales of Arise, and I enjoyed the shit out of that. It was a fun game. I recommend. I strongly recommend it, especially when it's on sale. But for big fans, it's awesome. You're interested in Sage, might get me to play healer more. If I could set up healing 14 the same way I do in WoW, I would main a healer. Dark Knight and Fortune is great because of the mitigation, supposedly the best in the game, but the glamour is doo-doo, and the damage is low. Oh, is it the best mitigation? I'm trying to think, like, so for Paladins, it is 20% reduction, 30% reduction, full immunity, block, which is 15% reduction, and that's it. That's it. Every now and they can heal themselves, but I think that's I don't think that's that didn't feel good. Yeah, because it was a spammy heal, and I think I just need more gear to have like more spell cast, haste, something like that. But yeah, just wasn't quite doing it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to pull that off. I'm probably just gonna stick to the plan, Soul. Stick to the plan. I got I think it's like 2 months from today, pretty much. Actually, wait, when does the early start? Is that what they're saying? Endwalker early start or head start? I don't know what they're referring to. Let's see, early access. There we go. Okay, early access is Friday. Oh, fuck. Friday? That's a weekend. I hate fucking doing work on weekends. God damn it. Maybe if I can get through the whole MSQ in like one day, then I'd be cool with that. Early access is always a clusterfuck? Oh, is it? Oh, no. Dr. Kaltsit. Did you change your name, whoever you are? Because 25 months, and I've never seen this name before. Thank you, by the way. Oh, it's Kaga. Okay. You change your name a lot, dude. Sheesh. You weirdo. Also the 10%. Oh, yeah, 10%. Well, I think that's just the roll ability, right? Well, some of those things that I mentioned are roll abilities. Dark Knight specifically has a 15 per second, 25% of max HP shield on a 15-second cool. Oh, that's pretty fast. How am I today? Good. Today is a weird stream because I was trying to play, but I'm like, screw it. This is a talkie stream. I'm just talking this whole time. Maybe I'll upload the whole goddamn thing again because this is yeah. I was not able to work out a short coffee in WoW. Let's see. Dark Hat. Talking is good. Talking is good. It's crazy, right? They have the blackest night. Okay, so how is it a clusterfuck, Soz? Is it like instability? Is it too many people doing the same shit? Like, what is it? Help me out here, because I'm gonna have to plan a weekend. All of the above? Fuck, dude. I know that, obviously there's a lot of people that are playing it right now and getting their feet wet into it. But those people aren't going to be able to play in Walker content yet because they gotta make it there, unless they boost or whatever. But there's still gonna be problems, huh? It was better in Shadowbringers than Stormblood, so it might not be so bad. Well, since it's on a Friday, I guess I can plan ahead for that. But then if things just aren't looking great, I'll be like, screw it. I'm just going to, do my own thing. They're going to divide the zones into separate instances per server. So they're going to shard stuff. Okay. So it's their own way of sharding. Yeah. I remember hearing about that. They have their own way of doing that sort of thing. That's fine. I just want it to be playable. That's it. Fuck the immersion. We've seen it. That the way that sharding and stuff like that, as much as people have shit all over the concept of it, when it comes to just having stable realms and a stable launch, I'd definitely rather have that. Anyone here who played through the Warlords launch experience? Yeah. I don't want that again. That was a bad time. And that was during the time when I still had a job and I had to take time off work for that. That was rough, man. That was rough. So, Blizzard needs to respect our time. That's, sharding is worth it to me. On the topic of paladins, you should try to find out about the D&D 5e Conquest Paladin. It sounds so cool. I think you were telling me about that. If you can link me that or something. I didn't. Still haunts my dreams. In Stormblood, so many people were on that literally too many people were trying to do this solo instance early on, so a cutscene would play after you talked to Robin and it would boot you out of the instance once the scene was over. Fun. If you ever hear of Robin Savage, that's what it refers. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I remember when I started when I was playing through WoD, it started out like everyone else's. Couldn't make the garrison, and then we had to wait for the hotfix for that. So that took up like an hour or something like that. Even before that, I remember we had to for the Horde side, we had to beat up trees and shit. And those were hard to do. I was either beating up trees or we had to get wood or something like that. That took a little while. And then activating the garrison, we had to wait for a hotfix for that. That was fun. And then it was okay until I got to Spires of Iraq. Once I got to Spires, by the time I got to Spires, more and more people were like dropping. They're like, "Oh, can't get in." I was having a LAN party. That was a thing. I was having a LAN party with friends, and they couldn't get back on. They were struggling, and then eventually I got tossed out too, and I couldn't get in for a few hours. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to bed. And so went to bed, got up, finished leveling, and then things were, and after that it was a blur. Because I think I just pushed the rest of it out of my head. And then it was okay, but still, it was an unforgettable experience in a bad way. I remember that sort of same experience when Diablo 3 first launched. It wasn't great. It sucked. Realms weren't up, error messages, things like that. Nobody likes that. Hearing about compromises like shards, layers for classic WoW, things like that. The talking points that were behind those, it was like, no, they need to preserve the original. They need to preserve the MMO experience. We don't need this artificial hand grabbing whatever. But I think of Warlords. Fuck that. Give me shard all over my face, man. I will happily take that over like dead realms and stuff like that. Get wood, kill birds. Same. Oh, it was the same thing on the Alliance. I can link you a tier list video where the YouTuber dungeon dudes talk about. I'm so not attached to D&D stuff. I feel like it's gonna sail over my head. But yeah, go ahead. Go and link it. What is up? What's up, Thunders? Just chilling. We were just chilling today, dude. That's the stream, man. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 3.5 hours of chilling and relaxing and whatever. Yeah, this whole thing's gonna go up. Screw it. Cause yeah. I'll edit out the black scene. Yeah, I'll do my best to try to separate these into topics. I know that's almost impossible, but it's more like these aren't sections, guys. These are more like, this is where I start talking about this. This is where I start talking about this, and like that's it. You shall. Thank you, Menard. That'll be fun. But yeah, today's still gonna be busy. I still, there's still WoW stuff that I want to do. I still want to do like, I still want to wrap up with, do more prep. Study up on some information, and then do the prep guides for 915. I really want to consider like the whole thing on tanking, because yeah, tanking for me is so fun. It's unsarcastically hella fun to do. I like the control. I like having the room to lead. And I think one thing that I do want to talk about with tanking is that, even though it gives me the room to lead, you don't need to being a tank and being a raid lead or a party lead. They can be mutually exclusive. I don't know if I'm using that phrase, that phrasing right, but just because you're a tank does not mean you lead the group. You can defer to someone else. I deferred to that last night. Like I run 15s with the same group. I've been doing it for the past like month or so. And here, look. It shows. Look at that. 16, 19, baby. I'm getting there. Slowly. Look at that. Oh, baby. Yeah, so I'm getting there. I don't lead the group. I tank it, right? They tell me what to pull, or I remember and then I pull it, or they misdirect me. But that's the team working together, right? Because that's the most important thing, is that the team is working together, and we're getting stuff done, and it's showing. I'm not rushing it. We'll see if I can get KSM by the end of this. If I can get it in time. I'll put it in the Discord channel. Yeah. Because then I'll lose it otherwise. Didn't play much at all during WoD. That's about the time I discovered 14. I should do some Mythic. I don't really have anyone that I run them with though, and I'm not keen on PUGs. I'm gonna try to do some today. Like you might have, for those of you who've been here all day, I was talking with Grid, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll show up for like some of your stuff, but I really want to try and play Mythic Plus with guildmates too, because it's not just about me. Part of the fun in WoW is not just gearing myself up. It's to help out the team, keep the morale up, however best I can, and to help them get gear too, because that's a good thing. Woo. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I still have fun, guys, because I play it. I'm so sorry that I repeat myself and repeat some of these rants more often than I should, but I'm kind of working towards making a published video where I talk about how different the WoW experience is for some people. I just really wish that people could I wish that there were more willing guild leaders out there who can who have the stones to sacrifice a little bit of themselves in order to create an environment for like-minded people. I think that's hard these days because a lot of people just want to jump in, get their gear, and they will, commit to whatever it is that they need to, and the social aspect isn't there because partially because of what Blizzard offers with the guild finder, well, not the guild finder, but the pre-made group tool, dungeon queues, things like that, things that make it easy enough to get people connected, but not enough to help facilitate lasting connections. In 14, I notice that it's mostly social threads that keep people together, not exactly gameplay. I mean, you got your static groups. I believe that's how they refer to them, static groups and stuff, for running Savage and Ultimate content. But you also see invites to parties. Dude, my free company is having a tea party over here. There's lots of debauchery and, well, there's lots of sex or something like that. So come on in, friends. And there's a lot of that. That's where you get those social. That's where you get those sorts of connections. It's entirely social, and you just get to immerse yourself. And it has nothing to do with your performance. Well, it has nothing to do with your DPS or your healing numbers or your item level, your IO score, whatever. It's different. And that's something that I think we can really appreciate because those requirements aren't there. But in WoW, you don't quite. It's much harder to get that because your options of gearing are like different. I tried so often to be a guild lead. Sometimes I also got forced into the role, but in the end, I wasn't a good leader for them because if I made calls that they didn't like, with the quotes like "You are not my boss," I don't know how I do it. I think it's more like, and it's the advantage of being a guild lead for a long time is that people just know me, or people who've been around long enough tell newer people what I'm like. This is what Soul's like. This is what the culture of the guild is like. This is what we do. Ultimately we just try to help each other out. Sometimes our attitude can be shitty. Sometimes we can be like overly snarky to one another. But I think the big I try to not be a boss. I try to not be a boss 100% of the time. I think I'll go with that. I set up guidelines and rules and things like that, but I try not to like control people or hey dude, you need to gear like this. Hey, you need to switch to this spec. Hey, we need to do this so we can get like the gear together and blah blah blah. We try to make it work out. But because I'm infrequent about that, when I do try to come down on things and come down hard on things, people tend to listen. It's felt more like a phenomena because we'll be trying to progress on a boss, things aren't working out, and then I'll take a few moments to just rant like I do now, just to the guild. And I'll talk about the I'll talk about the performance, and I'll lightly call out certain behaviors that might come from certain people. We need this and this and this. People aren't moving out for that. We really need to get this together. Yada yada yada. I know we can do this, and it works. It helps to jumpstart people. Now, of course, I do other things too. I might be like towards the end of this season, Once we get to Sylvanas, I'll be like, all right, bounty. It's a thing that I do. I'm going to pay out a shitload of gold to the team that gets this kill. You're here for the kill, you're going to get paid. And people are like, hell yeah. And then people do it. Because they're gold motivated. Fine. You want a WoW token's worth of gold or something like that? Here we go. Let's freaking do it. But I think that was part of the secret. It was to allow for a lot of independence. It frustrates the team and me when people only show up sometimes. Being late is one thing, but if you only show up whenever you feel like, not for even a good reason. Like some people are like, oh, this is my work schedule. I can only show up one time a day or once a week or whatever. And then we deal with that. And Flux rating has made it possible for us to keep going as we are. Without Flux rating, the guild would collapse. Or at least the guild would have a totally different face to it. The people that I have here, I probably wouldn't have them because hardly anyone shows up consistently. And having a static team like that, I know it creates a much closer knit relationship. But I would also feel bad because I would just play with fewer people. And I would have to pick and choose. Even worse because, they perform better than you. I got to take this person because I want to progress. Maybe I can rotate you out. I hated doing that back in the day. I would hate doing it in 14. And so that's another reason why I'm like, rating, nope, done. Not happening. Don't want to do it. Yeah. Biggest problem that I saw with my leading style is that I see goals that they tell me about, but they don't want to work or play for it. I mean, after 4 tries of making a time up and then they don't come, it's just not worth it. Here I am rushing home from work every night to get into raid before it's too late. You missed the Sylvanas kills, man. That's kind of the problem for me. WoW guilds are like real life sport clubs. If I want something there, and that's why we just do heroic stuff. Doing mythic raids is one, it's static, and two, it's just a lot more involved. There's a lot more that's needed, a lot more that's required. A certain dedication that's required outside of the raid, and for the most part, a lot of us just raid log, and that's okay. It's totally okay if you want to raid log. We pay the price, and sometimes it's important to note that, and try to communicate. And like for example, today, I tell them, hey, I'm going to make myself available. And I'll try to follow up on Discord. Hey, I'm gonna be on at around this time. Do we have if we have people who want to run like a couple of mythics, sound off now in chat and keep the communication high. Not so much hey, show up or else, or just staying consistent with your messaging and your scheduling. That has been like the number one lesson for any aspiring leader of a guild, regardless of the game. Set a schedule. Set that time with the team. If only a couple people show up, the show must go on, and you got a pug. I hate doing it, but it's happened a couple of times. Where you just need to show people that you can put on a show because you're the conductor. If you're the raid lead or the guild lead or both or whatever, that's where the responsibility is. To one, set that schedule, and two, make it so that the experience of that run is good to where at the end of the day or end of the night, people come away from it being like, cool, I played games. I had an okay time. That's what makes things like wipe nights really tough. You're trying to progress, you hit a wall, and you just keep trying to beat yourself against that wall. And sometimes you got to, call it early or change things up in order for people to have a better experience. Like it happened last week where we were trying to progress against something crap, I forget. We were trying to progress against something the other week. It wasn't happening, and people were feeling weary. It's part of my job to be empathetic towards that, or to read the room. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll be like, no, we need to challenge ourselves and push this because I know we can do it. And sometimes we just have those bad nights. But sometimes you got to make that call too and be like, hey, you know what? Okay, not happening. Not with this. But you know what? We have a group for this. We can switch things up. We can all do a 15. And so we did, and it was cool. It helped. People got, some people got some gear. People got a little taste of the challenges that are outside of the normal raid log, and it gives them a chance to experience their class a little bit differently. A 15 might be a bit lofty of a challenge. I saw that. But it's also like a necessary experience too, to change things up and keep things a little bit lively. I wish they would be like that, but they would not even read that I make myself available lol. I would hate trying to start up a guild now in 2021 with the state of the game as it is, and still having a faction divide with these sorts of expectations, because I wouldn't be looking for a mythic team. I would want to look for a team that wants to do the things that I want to do, which is to hop on every couple days, hang out, do stuff, kill things, talk smack, and that's it. Because I want to keep this as a game. So how a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want WoW to be like a job," right? And it's not a job; it's a game, and that makes it worse. That makes it tougher because you're not getting paid to be here. You're here for recreation, and so there are very few threads that would keep people on. So it sucks because when people start looking at this, or MMOs, as a job, that's like unimmersing yourself from the experience that makes this a video game. It's just for fun, and when you feel like you're taking it too seriously, it becomes a problem, both on the design of the game and also the player mindset, because it's hard to put yourself. It can feel difficult to put yourself back into that immersive experience and to just kind of flip that switch and be like, oh, dude, look at all this stuff. This is neat. Once you break out of it, then I notice, at least as a commentator, people will tend to overanalyze. And because the immersion is gone, they'll look at new things that come and they'll look at it without that lens. You can call it rose-colored glasses, whatever you like. But when you stop looking at things like a game and you just look at it like this system or whatever, then you can deconstruct it every time and you'll never find fun with it. Like that's something that I do all the time. I'll look at the games. I'll look at the game system. I'll break it down. I'll explain it to people, write a guide, whatever. And then when the patch comes out, ooh, look at this. I can flip that switch. Just the same, I can look at something like 14, which I don't have a good enough grasp of a lot of its systems, but I could probably easily say like, oh yeah, with something like crafting, it's just this, crafting and gathering, it's just a big scheme to prolong playtime, because all it does is perpetuate a loop that gets you from one crafting thing to a gathering thing to another crafting thing to a gathering thing, and it makes it into this entirely separate game where you just do the same thing over and over again. It's just, between carpentry, armory, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same thing. With regards to the actual actions that you take, it's just you're working with different materials and so that's all I'm getting at. Like you can you can explain the fun out of everything. But are you going to do that? Yeah, it's hard to turn that sort of thing off. All right, I'll see you later, Peter. But that's why I like WoW. But that's why I like running a guild, because it's different. Because not only am I looking at my own experience, I'm looking at a shitload of other people too. And what's going to be 14 years of being a part of, 14 years in the guild, about 13 years running it. Oh man, it's cool because you see all these different people come and go. And you know, frankly, I don't remember all of them, which sucks. But there aren't a lot of them either, which sucks even more because I should. I should remember all of them. But it's a ride. It's been such a ride, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. Cultivating the guild is way different from gearing up your character, from farming that content, getting those achievements and stuff like that. It's something that's way more than that. It's family, it's friendships that you don't get. You know, I talk with some of you folks, and you know, and in a way, like, you know, you guys are like my stream family, my stream or chat family, and that's a lot of fun. And going back to what I was talking about earlier, and feeling a little bit down for myself, you know, I'd love to cultivate that a little bit more. And I guess I kind of treat myself, I kind of treat you folks in a similar way that I treat the stream, and even the channel, the same way that I treat my guild. That I just want to do it my own way, and let people discover and be like, oh, this is a cool place to be. Cool. I'd love to thrive more. Let's, you know, let's not kid ourselves, because it could be like way better. But I like to treat you folks like in a similar way, because that's where I feel comfortable. But that's where I feel comfortable. We could all hang out and try to be ourselves, and disagree and agree on things, and you know, and sometimes butt heads and have a back and forth, but in the end come to understandings where we don't see eye to eye on this this scandal, this censorship, other such things. But we still like talking about games, and we still like sharing these ideas and trading thoughts, and maybe learning a little bit of something. That's been a lot of what I've been doing over the past couple of days, trying to figure out just what is going through like some of these heads when it comes to this whole idea of censorship, which I still don't agree with, in the same way that some of you might. But I want to understand it a little bit more, because this is like a big gaming family, even if not all of us care to talk to each other about it. Did I hear about us in the movies, like in Fast and wait, what? What is this? So yeah, we ended up talking about That's Why We Love You. Well, cool. How do I do it? No, it has to be like that. Do I do it like that? I don't know how they do it in like whoever does that sorts of stuff. Isn't it like those cute little Japanese girls that do like the little whatever, dude? I don't know how to do this stuff. My mind is just on that shrimp. Oh, that shrimp sounds so good right now. But I love you guys. You guys have you know, I've been doing the stream stuff for like 4 or 5 years now, and you know, this is where we're at. But I feel like Not all of you, obviously, but I feel like I know some of you, and I feel like you guys got to know me beyond, more than just, oh, here's an awesome gaming moment, guys, and like, those crazy moments. I would love to, I love just having cool conversations with you guys. And if we can do this all the time without the gaming, I think I would be happy. I think I'd be okay with that. I think me and Sloot could have some fantastic WoW conversations. See, here's where I know I would get awkward. Like, I see a lot of takes from bigger streamers and whatnot, but I usually look at them from the lens of Twitter, which is unfortunate because Twitter is full of all sorts of bad takes, horrible conversations, one-liners, no follow-ups, that sort of thing. And I'll look at, I don't remember what Sloot had said about certain things, but I'll look at other streamer, because I follow a lot of the streamers on Twitter, and I'll see them with their different takes on things, such as the censorship stuff, and they'll stick to the censorship topic. It's like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, really, guys? Jeez. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. I like to say, from my pedestal of whatever. But it'd be cool to have like conversations like that too. Like, I wonder if I could manage to invite some folks for some coffee and just chat with them and just talk shit. I don't know, because I know my personality. I'm comfortable with you guys, partially because we're just chatting and all that. But doing a face-to-face with someone, it's much, much harder. I feel like it's really, really hard to do. Like, and I need to work on that, I think. Somehow. Who can I talk to that's safe, Who are safe people that I can talk with? I talked with Marcellian a while back. I talked with... Oh, it's funny. There was an interview that I did with Syl, Whispers of War. She does a podcast, and she's great. She's a great person to talk with. I feel comfortable around her. But we did our podcast in, April, something like that. We did it in April. It didn't come out until June. So we did the podcast before the 9.1 PTR, and it released after the PTR, after it went live. I'm like, holy shit, this is a fucking time capsule. It came out after the scan, after all the Alex Cosby stuff came out and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna feel really awkward. and she ran it by me too. She's like, I know we're coming to this now, but like, should we do this? Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, just go and do it. Just put a disclaimer and say like, hey, this was recorded at this time, because it's gonna sound really awkward, man. Yeah. But I really got to work up the courage. That's a challenge for me. I'd like to say that I could talk to the likes of Taliesin, or talk with names aren't coming to me, but just think of names. I'd like to think that I could just talk with some folks like that, but my personality around other people just doesn't work out. Now, I've chatted with Taliesin. He's fun. He's just a fun person to talk with and chat with. We've talked at BlizzCon. Brief. It was brief, but it was easy to talk with. I would want someone else to moderate though. Like I don't think I'm a good host. After doing it a couple times, I don't feel like I'm a very strong host, and so I would want help with some of that. A long time ago, but look at them now. Marcellian or Sloot? Sloot's fun to watch. He's hella chill. Somehow I conflate. No, conflate's not the right word. Somehow I mix up Sloot and Towley. I don't know why, because they're nothing alike. They are nothing alike, but I keep confusing them. I feel awful. But look at them now. I don't know what they're like now. Yeah, I don't know what he's like now. I haven't watched Tally's streams in like forever. And I think I saw one of his resets from a month or so ago, and I'm like, oh, format's the same. That's cool. I was mostly looking at it from like a analytical point of view. I'm like, oh, has this format changed at all? Nope, hasn't. Okay, cool. I don't even know what he said, so I feel bad. Almost every time having beef with someone, which caused and a lot of bad talk from him. Well, I guess he is not shy about being confrontational when there is something that he strongly. Well, when this is with reference to Tally, when he believes in something very strongly and wants to clap back. Hell, I do that sometimes. I make light of people on by highlighting their comments and throwing them up on Twitter. I'm like, hey, look at this guy. Here's his take. Okay, I do that a lot too, but I tend to not dive into it for too long. It's really like, y'all understand those. If you understand like social anxiety, then you probably get what I'm talking about. And it's tough because I'm trying to work through it, but knowing that doing something like that live or recorded or whatever, if I'm talking with like this really big personality and I feel like I'm gonna bomb, that fear is very crippling. To the point where I don't do it. That's really the long and short of it. Yeah, I feel like I got to know the people well. Not just, I've read about this guy a lot. I've done tons of research about him. No, I don't want to just know them. I want them to know me. So that way they kind of know where where I'm coming from. Because otherwise then I feel like I would be fairly comfortable with talking or exchanging ideas back and forth with other people. Like I feel like if there was if all that needed to happen was hey Zach, hey Asmongold, let's not let things get too far out of hand. Let's not get too confrontational about certain topics. If we can curb that, I'd probably be able to talk with them just fine. Hey, dude, let's talk about all this shit that we really liked in WoW and how all of it and how these things took a dump, and then we can go back and forth on that, and I'd be fine with it. I'd probably be fine with it, like if we were. I'd probably be better with it if we were in person and we just talked about it, and then someone recorded us. Because one thing that I definitely wouldn't want to do, I wouldn't want chat to be open. Ew, that would fuck me up fast. If I was talking with a big personality and chat had a person's back, no way. That too would ruin me. Oh my god. Well, this is a good way to end it. To end today's stream. Holy smokes. Oh yeah, check out the glory. Oh yeah, with a crown. Yes. Oh yeah, witness me, baby. Look at that. That's fucking... Here, bigger. Bigger. Yes. All right. All right. I totally know what you mean. I mean, this year I found out at the age of 30 that I have autism, and told me a lot about why people found that I'm weird or that they were weird, and I called them out for it directly. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's a journey too that people struggle with. So best of luck. I don't even know how to say best of luck on that. That's how I make the camera angles in the videos. It's an add-on. It's an add-on called AFK Cam, if you must know. That's how I do it. I haven't found a good one that lets me control it very well. I'd love to find an add-on that lets me control the camera rotation and things like that. But yeah, this is majestic. This is straight up Mad Max status, right? Witness me! I am the ruler of Korthia, and this is my stuff, right? You know, he has his crown and weird shoulders that look okay, judgment, robe, pants, whatever, a janky ass shield, and I don't know where that mace is from. That's nuts. But anyway, today's stream was all over the place. This was a roller coaster, but I appreciate it a lot. This is like therapy to me, which is very selfish because, well, was it selfish or was it here to help you guys pass the time? I don't know. But whatever the case, it's all group. It's group therapy. I want the stream to like grow and do better and thrive. So I'd love to see more of you guys come back for the show. I'm gonna do the VOD. It's gonna come out tomorrow, whatever. For people who missed it, and I'd love to just chat more because this is fun, and we'll talk about whatever, about WoW, about gaming, things like that. Not very good therapy. But I want to thank you guys so much for your guys' like support and the love and the energy. It's helped out. It's helped out greatly. It's kind of pulling me out of like a little funk that I've been feeling because, you know, I want to keep doing this and be the center of attention and get paid. But I just like doing this. So thank you guys for being here with me. And I'll see you guys for the next thing that I do. Until then, though, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay breezy.